The other technicians were called in to do this task when they otherwise shouldn't have been.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new
No
Galaxy
way.
Same
Z
old
Fold.
phone.
No way.
Same old
No
phone.
way.
Same old phone. Yes, let's go. Everyone
old
got
phone.
my same old
Same old
phone.
phone.
Same old
Same
phone.
old phone. Same old phone.
On June 30th, Withered Circle and I went live to react to T-Dread's schedule theory video.
It's got the freezers in the back.
Same old phone?
Boo! We were joined later in the call by T-Dreads himself, as well as the Unwithered Truth. We discussed schedule theory as well as a host of other FNAF topics. These are the highlights from that fateful stream.
Looking through everything on it.
Same old phone?
Oh my god.
Schedule theory is better than God David because it is like literally undeniable, unlike God David.
Schedule theory
Schedule
is just
theory
true.
is-
Yeah, I left a comment. I said, I hate that you solved it. I hate that this is canon. I hate this theory. Good job. And someone said, I think you just hate that your arch nemesis T-Dreads proved you wrong about something.
Saw that one, yeah.
What are you talking about? It proved me wrong about what?
I don't know why you're so against schedule theory. I think it makes perfect sense for the fun times to have killed a bunch of kids before sister location.
I think it makes the story much worse. It's obviously true, and we have to take it as true, but I think it makes the story much worse.
I think it makes the story so much better because it shows that the fun times are still suffering and forced to do things that they don't want to do.
But now there's just a whole bunch of other, like, oh my god, we got like 50 dead kids in one town, and no one ever goes,
Yeah, it's
I
agony.
think it's that Freddy's.
It's not necessarily one town. It's the entire state because these are being ships, remember?
So we're working on dairy it logic. It's like a bunch of people die, but
Yeah,
no one
yeah,
knows
yeah,
just
yeah,
because
yeah.
agony.
Yeah,
Boo.
exactly.
Boo.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Unwithered. Says, I really dislike the idea they were killing the kids willy-nilly. I agree. William Afton should not be willy-nilly.
To be honest, there probably weren't that many dead kids. They probably only kidnapped kids whenever there were those PRT or PRV private parties that are shown on the schedule.
Yeah, but if, like, 4 kids get kidnapped the week that you're working there, it's implied that a lot of kids have gone missing the entire time.
Honestly, yeah, it does downplay the tragedy, but I think it makes sense. I think it adds a lot more to the fun times.
Night 1 of Sister Location is Wednesday. Is, like, undeniable. Right? Like, the schedule part of schedule theory is just clearly what was intended. But I do think that when you combine that with, like, well, why do they need to be shocked? Probably because they were killing kids. Why does Baby say something happened, it always happens? Something bad happened, it always happens. Probably because she snatched a kid. The idea that, like, oh, the fun times were in operation for years and they're meant to steal kids, but they just never did, is just a cope that we've had for 10 years.
From what we can gather from the game files, this sound is simply titled Guts, and upon hearing it, Cry-Knight and I became most afraid, as given the point in the game at which this plays, we thought it was supposed to be Elizabeth's bones and blood crunching and sloshing around inside of Baby's stomach. I began thinking of some other possibilities to explain this sound.
Whether or not Elizabeth's body is in Baby or any other kid's body is in Baby, that sound shouldn't play realistically when you open the faceplate. And as Unwithered says, nothing about the faceplate opening should make the sound happen, so it could just be spooky ghost, non-canon, creepy game ambience. And I agree, but that's sort of not what... That's not, for me, the thing that proves or shows that there are bodies in the fun times. That's just like TD telling the story of how he got here.
I agree. I think that the faceplate's opening and that sound creating, like, that sound just appearing could be like, oh, you open the faceplates, you're closer to the corpse, you know, the sound waves are traveling now because everything's exposed and open. Like, I'm sure that there's air in between the stomach hatch and the mouth. So
this is from MatPat's video, a mortician's table. Which MatPat video? The schedule? He went over the teaser and this image was in it? That's so weird.
Oh, I guess it is a mortician's
Cry-Knight
table,
and
yeah.
I spent hours
It's got the freezers in the back.
Same old phone?
Boo!
Upgrade to the new
Galaxy Z Fold
Boo.
7, boo.
Boo, make a phone that doesn't break after you fold it.
If you use fold phones, you're an NPC.
Let's examine this schedule together. It's a week-long schedule that lists 5 animatronics: Baby, Ballora, 2 Funtime Fs, and an out-of-service animatronic. For each day of the week, they're assigned specific status conditions: available, booked, private, or maintenance. Hand Unit provides a predetermined set of tasks for Michael to complete, different from typical FNAF gameplay. On night 1, we're told to shock Ballora, shock Funtime Foxy, shock Baby, and then go home. That's it. Funtime Freddy is noticeably absent from night 1. We're not asked
so
to
funny.
do anything involving him. Now, on night 2, the tasks change just slightly. Shock Ballora, shock Funtime Foxy, shock Baby. But this time, we do have a run-in with Funtime Freddy. Specifically, we're sent to the breaker room because Freddy's been tampering with the power, causing the controlled shock buttons to stop working. Then we spend the rest of our shift trying to fix the breaker. And at the start of our next shift, Hand Unit notes that he's upset with our performance and that we didn't meet the expectations for that shift.
It's worth mentioning that due to your lackluster performance yesterday, your pay has been decreased by a
Quotations
substantial
facing the
amount.
wrong
Compared to
direction,
night 1,
TD.
We're sent to shock 3 animatronics, just like on night 2, but this time there's no complaint from the Hand Unit the following morning. That stuck out to me, so I pulled the chart back up and began looking through everything on it.
Same old phone?
Oh
Nah.
my god.
Upgrade to the new
Guys,
Galaxy
you can't
Z
even
Fold
blame me
7.
for this. T-Dreads is like, what if they have to watch an ad, my third ad in 5 minutes? What if these guys have to watch an ad every 2 minutes?
He's money maxing. He puts
Money-
ad slots on every minute.
My god.
And it clicked. The structure of
He says
night
that's
1
what you get. That's
and
what I get for
2,
what?
Who we're tasked
For
with
having that same
visiting
old phone.
and who we're not. Line out of the 4 animatronics on Wednesday, 3 are booked. These are Baby, Ballora, and Funtime Foxy. Hand Unit even describes Baby as having a
Busy day today.
and this is because she was booked for a party that morning. The only animatronic that wasn't booked was one of the Funtime Fs. And what did we already establish? There's no instructions to shock Funtime Freddy that night. Then, on night 2, our tasks are to shock Ballora, Funtime Foxy, and Circus Baby before our night gets disrupted and we need to reset the breaker. Upon taking all night to do this, Hand Unit becomes upset with our performance. This is because night 2 is Thursday. All of the animatronics were booked that morning. When we get to the bunker at night, Hand Unit expects us to shock all of them, but we don't have time, so he's upset with our performance and docks our pay.
Ooh.
We never really questioned why we shocked the animatronics. We just kind of do it because we're told to, but when you sit down and think about it, and more importantly, when you think about when we shock each of them, it lines up perfectly with Michael's work week, starting on this Wednesday and ending on this Sunday.
I do want to say, TD, I know you didn't fully edit this yourself, but if I were you, I would have pointed out that this chart thing we're looking at is fan-made, and I would have shown the original source code from Scott's website that was then used to make this chart. Not that I think it's super important, but I do think that that would be good for the community to know, because I don't want people citing this video 10 years from now being like, this little Excel document was actually found within sister location. Unwithered says, do we think it could be that William is intentionally torturing the animatronics to generate agony within the MCI souls rather than harvest new ones?
That's what I used to think up until Cryo and T-Dreads went on stream at 1 a.m. I watched it and I was like, whoa, what the hell?
So in
I used to think that the controlled shock was about generating agony.
well, in FNAF 6, we shock them to calm them down.
Yeah, to pacify them and like loosen their
Yes.
joints or whatever. I don't
Yes. So TD's theory is that we have to calm them down because they have a new influx of new remnant from being lent out and killing someone.
The remnant inside her hasn't been disturbed by
here we go.
interacting with
Literally
new
this.
children, so she doesn't need to be shocked. Funtime Foxy and Ballora are both booked on Friday, and we shock them. So that lines up with Friday being night 3 as well. On night 4, Saturday, both Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy are scheduled for maintenance, while Baby and Ballora are reserved for something private. And in the gameplay of night 4, exclusively Baby and Ballora are together.
Same old phone?
Oh my god.
Galaxy Z
The
Fold
first
7.
Same
time
old
it's the
phone,
same ad.
same old phone. Same old ad, same
Give
old
me-
ad.
GiBi, I think they're trying to tell you something.
I think I
I
need a
think the
new
little
phone.
FBI people behind your computer are trying to tell you something.
The agony in my computer is like, I can't believe your phone is 2 years out of date.
He is
And
here
Biddy
and always
literally
watching the
starts
phone you
shit-talking
shouldn't have
Ballora
bought.
about how she never learned. She's complaining about something that happened at the private show earlier. Today, night 4, is also the first time maintenance technicians other than Michael appear
Incredible.
in the bunker. And
Incredible,
guess
by the
what?
way. Incredible moment.
Saturday, night 4, is the first of 2 maintenance days.
But T-Dreads, you're wrong.
Who
Who
is
the
that
hell
a
is this?
person? Yes.
Who the hell is this?
I thought you could have used a picture of me, but yeah, I don't know who this is. Also, I'm gonna shoot I'm gonna call my shot right now. I think 11 minutes into the video, we're gonna get our next sample phone ad. One of Cryo's friends. This is a real person Cryo knows. I love their sweater. That's so funny.
Insane hairline. Like,
Yeah.
This is just not doing them justice. It's not the fact that their forehead is large. It's the fact that the hair, like, it's cropped out in such a way that makes it look like they just have a huge random way for no reason. It's likely they just have a big bob on the top of their head, but this just makes them look silly.
Incredible.
Why pick a friend of Cryo's? Why not pick like GiBi or like hell, I don't know, Valerie
Matt
or
Pat,
something?
yeah.
I don't know why. Well, actually, pick John FNAF. Actually, I need more proof.
Forehead victim. Oh my god.
It's a private party day for Ballora, not a maintenance day. So why is Ballora in the scooping room? Theory debunked.
And to that I say, you need to pay less attention to the fact that it's a maintenance man talking, and more to what the maintenance man is saying.
Okay, bring her over.
Where's the subtitles?
One.
I'm deaf, TD.
Okay, stop. Set it down.
You couldn't even make it mono-channeled. Shake my head.
What happened to it this time?
Yeah, the fact that
Just
it's
seems like these things
on
can't go a
mono
day
was
without breaking down.
pissing me off.
Who knows? It's always the same, man. Some kind of hardware malfunction. Well, hey, I have to be somewhere in 15 minutes, and this place gives me the creeps. Can we just get this over with?
What happened to it? I have to be somewhere? Ballora breaks down at this private party, and now the technicians have to go out of their way to prep her for tomorrow's maintenance, when their night's work should have been completed by now. If night 1 takes place on Wednesday, then this schedule literally lines up perfectly with the game. After days that animatronics are scheduled, you shock them until they start acting normal again. That's why you shock Ballora and Funtime Foxy almost every time you check on them, and why you specifically don't have to shock Baby on night 3. For the 3 of them, this schedule explains everything that happens in this game if night 1 is on Wednesday. And that's because
We're overdue
we can
for an
use
ad.
the game to solve this chart and figure out which
Same
is
old phone.
which. The only time you ever work on an animatronic that doesn't line up with this schedule is Funtime Freddy on night 3. But again, this can be explained by the circumstances of the game. After Hand Unit tells us that we did a bad job, he tells us why we have to work on Funtime Freddy on night 3. Hand Unit tells us that following a show, Freddy began to malfunction, and, unlike the others, Freddy wasn't shocked on night 2 like he was supposed to be.
So in the section where we have to reset the breakers, what's the in-game reason for that? It's like
I'm pretty sure it's just I know what happens. It's alright, do your controlled shocks. You try to control shock. Oh no, it doesn't work. Go over there and make sure that everything's okay. You do baby desk thing. I'm pretty sure that's night 2. You go back and then you're like, oh, go to the breaker room because there appear to be power malfunctions. You toddle over there, you fix the breakers. Turns out Funtime Freddy and Bon were
yeah, but
fixed them, then you go back.
do we think that he unplugged the power for some reason, or do we think that his presence was drawing power?
No, I think he was just like breaking the breakers. I think it was just like flipping the levers and stuff. Like Bon was just fiddling with them. I don't know. I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's very odd that it happened. T-Dread says, Freddy's just messing with the power by eating it all. Hand Unit has no idea how to diagnose the issue. Yeah, so he's just gobbling up electricity like he's the animatronics from the week before. Huh.
That's fair.
It's weird.
Hand Unit even specifies that these malfunctions were unforeseen. It's defined that way because the schedule doesn't account for this. The other technicians were called in to do this task when they otherwise shouldn't have been.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy
Same
Z
old
Fold.
phone.
No way.
Same old
No
phone.
way.
Same old phone. Yes, let's go.
Same
Everyone
old
got
phone.
my same old
Same old
phone.
phone.
Same old
Same
phone.
old phone. Same old phone. Wait,
my
Gibby,
gosh.
is this like a frequent occurrence? You just
No, no. I have YouTube Premium. I don't get ads. When I have to stream not logged in.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. No, I don't have ads, so I have no idea. I've never seen that ad
So-
before.
And then if you're not signed in, that means they're not personalized.
Correct.
Which means that it's just randomly giving you the same ad like 5 times in a row.
Yes, and then a King of the Hill ad.
Like in the hills. Fine, it compensates, okay? It evens out.
It has been 5 minutes since the last ad, not 2 minutes. So maybe we can expect the next one at like 18 minutes. The next same old phone will be around here.
Same old phone. Can we
Same
make
old
a
phone.
same old phone?
Our next piece of merch.
That's our next piece of merch is the same old phone T-shirt.
Yep. Or T-Dreads, make your next song same old phone. But it's like it's about some phone guy.
It is the same old phone.
Same old phone guy in the window. I would be a bit agitated at night too if I had to sing these same old phones.
The animatronics do get a bit quirky at night, but do I blame them? No. If I had to listen to those same old phones for 20 years and I never got a skip ad button, I'd be a little irritable at night too.
That awful sound playing from Inside Baby on night 5 is not Elizabeth. It's somebody else. Someone who disappeared the day before. A child's corpse still trapped inside of her.
Inside
and given the
of
way she
me.
speaks on this night, these exact events have likely been happening with tons of kids over the years. The only problem with this particular connection is that the sound persists when we send Circus Baby to the scooping room and when only Ennard is following us. But then in the private room, the sound doesn't play at all when Ennard is around. There is an audio coding error immediately after this vent section at the scooping
T-Dreads,
part.
what
So maybe
audio
Scott
coding
was just
error
having
is
a
this?
rough day.
Yeah, I don't know what this
Like,
is in reference to.
Like T-Dreads, please pray do tell. I know a lot about the audio of Night 5 because I looked into Strange Voice, but I don't know of an audio bug unless I forgot something. So, let us know.
Someone in chat, Guts is supposed
Guts
to play in
supposed to
Scoop
play-
Room.
Really?
You know that from the code?
Or Guts is not supposed why would it play in the scooping room?
Or I guess I would just ask where that information comes from. If it doesn't play, how do we know it is supposed to? Baby kidnaps whenever she's alone, but that's a rare occurrence. I don't think GiBi knows what Instagram is. What?
Why wouldn't you? You know, it's the
That's millennial
it's the app
coded.
with the old camera icon, you know, the brown one. Yeah, that's totally what it looks like now. The brown one with
Yeah, the brown
with-
Polaroid
yeah.
camera
Yeah, exactly.
on my
the
iPod
Polaroid.
Touch in 2009.
Yeah, exactly. Back in my iPhone 6.
Is that?
What year was iPhone 6? I
I
don't
don't
remember.
know. I have a
I used
good
to have-
phone.
I used to have one.
Same old phone.
Same old phone.
Scott had certain audios that are rated like a priority that cuts off all other sounds. The sound file is when you walk into the scooping room, but Baby's monologue cuts off the code. So it is supposed to play Guts while you're in there. Okay, that's
Almost
weird.
as if Ennard is more, almost as if Guts is more tied to Ennard than Baby. You know why? Strange Voice on MP3. Yeah,
Yep.
let's go.
Don't worry, Gremlin. I saw all your weird comments about getting Ballora pregnant and voring Ballora. I saw those. Don't worry. I saw them.
What?
Gremlin's like me walking out of sister location with a suspiciously Ballora shaped in my tummy or something.
William Afton's like, "Ugh, where did my wife go?" And
No.
Gremlin is like with his suspiciously Ballora-shaped stomach.
And then there was something else earlier about like Baby is jealous because I got Ballora pregnant, something like that.
Unwittered finally got off the bus.
Chat.
Unwittered
Yes.
house theory.
Unbust theory.
Oh, did house theory on bust? No, wait. How are we all doing?
I'm good. It's like midnight for both of you guys, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez.
I've been watching all the way home.
What do you? You've been commenting your thoughts on schedule theory, so I'll let you have your
Yes.
bit now, and then we'll finish it up. What's your not criticisms?
Well,
but...
I mean, do we want to get the end and then we can
Sure.
we can
Then
kind
we
of
can yap
discuss it
about
as a
it.
whole, maybe.
Yep. Teacher says, I'm happy with the video, but I had Mamakato edit, and there was not a lot of communication because I've been in the hospital all week. That's why there's help wanted models mixed with sister locations models. I think she did great, though. Yes, I also think she did great. Besides the one quotation mark facing the wrong direction. What are you doing, Mamakato?
UG.
I have one major thing to criticize for you in a minute, T-Dreads.
He specifically
I'm
describes
gonna give you a
as
whooping.
being too dangerous. I think that the suit we're in on night 4 is the out-of-service animatronic that's listed on this schedule. CRMN_INST. Now, at first glance, we should interpret these abbreviated words as being exactly what they appear to be. Stuff like children_ent and crim_int were easily interpreted as children entertainment in criminal institution / crewman.
I'm
accessorizing.
No, we'd have to get to the part where I cancel T-Dreads. Because you don't attribute
it's crazy.
child remnant installation to me. That was my theory, and you don't even mention me.
I was watching it.
How could you?
Just the whole time I was watching it.
I can't believe you'd betray me like this. You didn't even thank Mama Kato for editing the video. What are you doing?
It's in the
The
description.
Beatles are breaking up, guys.
I mean, I could put it in the description,
No,
but
I genuinely don't care.
I promise you, I wasn't trying to be like, yes, I'm gonna steal GiBi's.
Yeah,
This audio was recorded in May, so
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
didn't know she was gonna be editing it.
This video's been in the works for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know she was gonna be editing it.
Yeah,
when
I
made
was
the
wondering.
audio.
I was wondering why there was no mention of Secret of the Mimic Party
as well.
World, but I get that now because it was made in May. That makes sense.
The Chica costume in Sodom has like padding
GiBi,
on the inside.
Sodom.
No,
Great, love it.
And Gamora.
Yeah.
Sodom.
Every time he calls
I'm not
Secret
gonna
of
say
the Sodom, I hate it. Secret
I'm
of the
not gonna
Mimic.
say Secret of the Mimic every time.
Secret
Sodom
of the
is-
Mimic.
I haven't. I usually call it SOTM. I just sometimes call it Sodom, but it has padding, so I think it's.
We say
used as a
Sotum.
chemical.
We could say Sotum.
Yes, that's better.
Sodom is even worse. I don't know what you.
No, Sodom is worse. I guarantee. Every time
Wait.
T-Dreads is like,
Sodium.
Sodom
guys,
says.
Sodium.
guys.
Sodium.
The Beatles have to stop arguing, okay?
Okay,
Like,
we're
seriously.
upsetting the fans.
Yeah, you're my arch nemesis, GiBi. Fuck you!
Oh my god, someone called me Rinko earlier. If I knew anything about the Beatles, I'd be highly offended.
yeah. GiBi and T-Dreads are arch nemesis, and I am Unwithered Truth's Wario. He's Mario. And Wario.
Yes. Perfect.
Wow.
Is Candy Bunny like the Beatles and D'Artagnan? Is that like? Is that what we're going with?
She's the fifth Ninja
Candy
Turtle
Bunny
who's only
is-
there sometimes.
Yes, the girl one from the movies.
The one with the blue
cyan
headband.
turtle.
That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, cyan. It's different. It's not blue. Leonardo's blue.
Yeah, it's cyan.
Very
Sure,
distinct.
whatever. Close enough.
Very distinct.
I'm
At least
hitting-
it wasn't like pink.
Why couldn't they have made it like I don't know? Yeah.
They've got all of them pretty much.
I'm hitting play so we
What,
can get another
what are the
phone
colors
ad.
again?
Could have been yellow.
Yeah, you deserve it. Now,
You
as you go
deserve it,
further into the client directories,
You need that
things get
flip. You need the
progressively
screen to crease
more
down the
cryptic.
middle.
Here's a
Mobile phone.
theory you may have heard before. CRMN_INST being the term
effects.
for
See, all right, so give me the reason I say like
Haven't
you
heard
may have
before?
No,
Haven't
I
heard
said may
before?
have heard. I said may have heard. Are you
I know.
deaf?
Yes, I am deaf.
Okay.
Beatles,
You
stop
are.
arguing,
That's true.
please.
I forgot. No, the reason I said it's a theory you may have heard before is because I genuinely thought it was like super popular, and like everyone knew about it.
No, it's like it's one of the the things I've learned about my long video is that because it's so long and like I have these little things buried inside of it, a lot of people like just don't
Know
the
that you
small,
originated some of the stuff.
Yeah, or, like the small theories didn't make as big of an impact as I would have hoped.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
yeah. Well, yeah.
child remnant installation, I think, is a big mystery that I think the entire community should just adopt as the answer, which is why I made it its own separate video. But until I made that one, no one cared. Yeah.
Until you said that that's what it was, or sorry, until you said you made it, I had no idea you came up with it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
No sense. Both other directories relate to endeavors that Afton is
I
directly
came up
involved
with children
in.
and so
Chica's
told them.
Party World, which has animatronics
Which is good.
that
You're going to
got
talk about it
rights
later.
to,
It's great.
and Private Birthday
I'm
Booking,
hinting it.
which is Circus Baby's entertainment and rental. That's what this place is said to do on night one.
Oh, I never
Afton
talked
doesn't
about
own a prison,
five
as far as we're
online.
aware
Whatever
of.
it was 5 on location.
He doesn't own a criminal institution, but he does own a CRMN INST, a child.
You know what I'm gonna do,
remnant
GiBi? I'm gonna link your channel right
installer.
when I say that. I'm gonna go in the cards. I'm gonna link your
This
video.
directory
Sexy.
is the shortest, with only
There
2
you go.
file paths and no additional information on what's
link
going
your
on.
Criminal Inst video.
Chica's Party World has other branches like birthday props and novelties that give you more context to the business. This directory doesn't. If anyone were to look at this directory, they'd be able to glean no context as to what the directory is actually for. It's deliberately left ambiguous by Afton because it's f***ing illegal. Speaking of that, and a detail I have not seen mentioned anywhere elsewhere. I have searched, but I haven't seen this, so correct me if I'm wrong. The only other phrase formatted like CRMN_INST, which I expect to be something illegal, with one set of capital letters and an underscore in between the words, rather than the words being mushed together, is...
Step into Hojo.
No! Is.
No.
The one with
That's
the
so
big
fire.
Score.
I'm so sorry.
for female
I don't know much about the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Well, it's the one we said you were anyway, so it's fine.
I'm looking at my thing right now. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 6 possible places you can get ads on this video. How are you getting so many?
I signed up for extra ad bonus. No.
You're not signed in, so it probably plays more ads to people who aren't signed in.
That's
I was gonna say, because there's only 6 possible ad slots, and you've gotten like at least 8.
Because as far as YouTube is concerned, you've never watched an ad. So they're like, well,
He doesn't know what ads are.
You gotta make up
Yeah.
the last ad.
Have to pump it out. He's like a little guy living in his like little village, and it's like YouTube's okay. Show him ads.
He must
He wants a flip
buy.
phone.
Same old phone.
Same old phone.
Yeah. Wait. Which Ninja Turtle has the staff? Is that Michelangelo? Is he the purple one?
That's Donatello.
Donatello. Is
That's
he the purple
Donatello.
one?
He's the smart one. That's the one we said
Okay.
you were anyway. So that's all good.
Okay. Yeah, I play
So
the.
Pedro is Michelangelo, Withered is Raph, you're Donatello, and I'm Leonardo.
I was too young
Honestly,
for
I'm-
the '90s Ninja Turtle show, and then I was too old for the next one in the mid 2000s. But I played that NES game a lot. I played the NES game a lot.
I'm fine being Raph, to be honest. Withered Circle's the green Ninja Turtle. Are they all green?
Okay, GiBi, I have
Actually,
put your
wait,
put your
Withered.
video to pop up when I say the words criminal institution with GiBi found this. There you go.
Dope.
Withered,
Yeah.
you are Raph because you dress in a trench coat and a little hat. So you are Raph. That's literally what Raph does. Perfect. It's set. It's all right. We did it. Perfect. Keep going.
Mama Kato, she also forgot to edit out the 2 frames of black at the end of my candle. So if you see a little bit of like black screen pop up every now and then, that's why. Enters a project.
Entrapment.
Let's go. So
Did she
good.
spell that wrong?
No, I think that's
Wait,
fine.
what? Where?
Okay, I
Entrapment.
thought it was
Wait, let me see.
entrapment. I might be wrong though.
No, entrapment. That's correct. As
Okay,
the
that's huge.
unnecessarily good grammar guy. Except I still cannot spell silhouette, and I never will be able to.
Me neither.
Also, Unwithered, congrats on 200k views. Yay!
Matt
Thank
Pat
you
is
so much.
Splinter.
Thank you.
duh.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Ash will
Yeah.
react to this one, I believe.
I'm just thinking in the people we know, I guess Rytos to be would be the Splinter.
Right, Rytos. Yeah, either Rytos or Matt or Splinter. I think Cryo Shredder. I think that's just funny to have him be the.
But
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if someone pointed out that Mama Kato is April O'Neil because they have the same hair color, and then you could
Ryan
make
Toast,
Cryo
Ryan
Casey because the
Toast.
two of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So who's Shredder?
I'm shredded.
Scott.
I was gonna say funny guy. That's really bad.
No.
No. No.
That's really bad.
No. No, but Shredder's cool. Shredder's like aura farming. Like, come on.
Who's a theorist we don't like, but is also really cool?
GiBi?
It's gonna be a hard question to answer. GiBi?
You
Let
know
me-
the
let me have a look.
theorist I don't like.
Let me have a look for the sanctuary.
Shredder's and Tom.
Cyrus Squawk.
And Tom is crazy.
No, and
Cyrus Squawks.
Tom being Shredder fits. I like that.
Cyrus Squawks is Baxter Stockman. Don't at me. Anyway, send tweet. Go.
What is happening right now?
This is the entire
We're
purpose
having
of
a
the fun
serious
times. They were
Teenage
built for
Mutant
the
Ninja
sake
Turtles
of
debate.
entrapping children, and hidden in the source code, we can see even more evidence of that, but it's loosely veiled in case of prying eyes. Back to the note of the Remnant installer, we need to talk about what comes right after it. Project.
Enters a project.
This project is part of the Remnant installer. Note the slash between the words.
It's a
not
subfolder.
CRMN INST project. It's CRMN
That's what I meant.
INST, and then the project is a separate thing. And with the events of the game
probably
in
just
mind,
a separate part, but you know.
I think we can figure out what this project is.
This might be a stretch, but would instigation work?
Instigation. I
Yeah,
don't know, that's
or
Like
instigate,
beginning the project?
Ah.
Like to instigate it?
like in the action or process of creating an event or action.
Yeah.
To
Wait,
initiate
wait.
something. So if they are making Child Remnant with the experiment bunkers, for example, that would be an instigating the
What?
Child Remnant.
If this is a scientific process that he's doing, right? What would be an action or a command that would instigate Child Remnant?
Being in a nightmare
mega
bunker.
death. Mega death. Super mega mega ultra death.
Being put through experiments where you're constantly in pain and tortured by scary robots and nightmare gas. That would do it.
Yeah.
What if? Okay, what if
wondering if there
this
was
is the
anything
idea, right?
specific.
So we know. Okay, this could be interesting. Afton's whole thing is in this game anyway. We assume is he told Michael to go down here to put his sister back together, right? That's the goal, and that's what you talk about here as in like the project, right?
Enters a project.
But what if the idea of showing off the nightmare chambers in sister location? Because one of the things I have an issue with Afton being the Fredbear plush, which I think he is, one of the issues I have is we never get a follow-up on what he actually did to put the crying child back together. Like, what was his goal, or how did he go about that? And I wonder if the idea is Child Remnant, institution, whatever, is like the nightmare experiments, and that was his way of putting him back together. He was running two things simultaneous. He was like, okay,
well, I have a whole
put him back together with the nightmare experiments.
I have a whole theory on how
yeah.
I think the point of sister location is so he can figure out how to put Bite Victim back together. I have a whole theory on that. I think everything that's going on down here is so he can figure out how to put Bite Victim back together. That's like the video I made, and we were talking about it, and you were glazing.
Is there something interesting to be said about how, if, say, the nightmare experiments is his way of putting Bite Victim back together, and his way of putting Elizabeth back together is by sending out, robots to scoop kids, that both of their ways of being put back together are specifically related to how they lived, like, or like around the events of their death. Like, it's recreating the fear that was in Crying Child, and it's recreating the event which occurred to kill Elizabeth. So the idea is like, for William to put them back together, he has to use the same methods as they were killed, or else it won't work. Like, that's what.
Yeah, it is odd that the way to fix Elizabeth would be to add more souls into her. But
yeah, like to get more in the way she died.
Yeah, that'd be weird. I always assumed it was so he could study it and have like more examples. I don't know if actually having a bunch of because Molten MCI is like that thing doesn't have a consciousness. That thing's just like a bunch of energy.
Well, you could go Shattered Elizabeth, and you could say like,
yeah, I think that's true. I think that is, yeah.
Shatterbeth is literally canon. Shatterbeth is more canon.
I think that's why I think that's why the
you have to put them all together
put
into
Ennard
one
together.
robot.
Yeah, that's why you have to put it together into Ennard, and then she gets her memories.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then she leaves
even
again.
Though I believe
it's a project.
I believe.
And then she leaves. But I think the idea is at that
once
point
the pieces are all together,
inside of the other
and she gets
mold.
Then she can take all of her because. Once all the pieces of her together, she can take those pieces because they're all together now. So she takes them and then she goes. She's not leaving anything behind. She's in a vessel where she can take everything.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy.
But like, because people have been saying this, especially after Secret of the Mimic, because they don't want to say like there's a robot kid in the closet. They're like, wham, wham. So they're like, oh, we can't use anything from the other endings. Wouldn't that mean that we can't use anything from the private room? So like,
yeah, we can't. Fun fact: William never did Nightmare Experiment.
That is accurate, but continue.
GiBi, no, GiBi, we're on a train of thought here. Okay, don't derail the train, please.
Because I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, you can't use anything from the ending of like, what? You really think that Tiger Rock plushie manifested in the building on a second part, and then you can take that, but you couldn't have put that there. But then you got to take it Then you got to take it a step further and be like, okay, maybe the private room doesn't exist because you can't, if you can't use that in
FNAF logic, Fritz Smith does not exist. Like, he's not a real person. Never was.
Yeah, there never was a Night 6/7.
There never was a Fritz Smith. The bad ending of we can't use either ending of FNAF 3 apparently because we don't know which one's the true one, even though I think it's the bad ending.
I literally have a video about this. I literally have a video about this where we unlock the canonical epilogue to Sister Location, which is Mike walking down the street, by playing the non-canon Custom Night update, and the quote that plays as he's getting Ennard outside of him, dog, is from the non-canon Ennard Night, where she says, "You won't die, but you wish you would." So we have a non-canon quote that we unlock in a cutscene that is canon by beating a non-canon mode. So
Seeker Confidence wanted to point out that Elizabeth also says, "I'm still here" in the Ennard Night.
I'm still here. There's my impersonation.
So like that's twice that she's getting associated, but only once that Afton is.
GiBi, I can impersonate another one of the FNAF kids really well. Want to hear it?
Please don't say it. Please don't. Why does it look like that?
Look like that? It's scary.
I hate it so much.
Oh god.
Oh, it's an endoskeleton. It won't always look like this, you little bitch.
Whoa. Whoa.
Attention,
teachers.
I hate my son.
Access has been revoked.
Project that's been
Voice
in the
channel
works
access
since the
has
very
been
start
revoked.
of the game.
You mimicked
The
my
plan
son.
that Mike reflects on in his closing words in Custom Night. The game ends with us putting Elizabeth back together.
Oh, yes.
And the way that's done is by assembling all the fun time endos into Ennard.
It's a project.
That's
Shutterbirth.
right. This project in the source code is referring to putting Elizabeth back together. The project is Ennard.
Yeah.
Why
Look,
did
am
Mike
I
never
grasping
dodge
at
the
straws?
scooper?
Maybe a little, but
Why
what
he
other explanation do we have?
No, I agree.
keep
Yeah.
going back?
Like, what
despite
else could
the
it
obvious
possibly
danger
be?
that was present?
Putting Crying
Because
Child back
everything
together.
that happened to him.
We got to take a zoom. We got to zoom out here and say,
Yeah.
why would he be experimenting with Remnant in the first place? Clearly, there's
Crying
something
child.
that he is like, I need Remnant to do.
Yeah.
So take a zoom
Yeah.
out and say, okay, why even build a giant multi-bajillion-dollar Remnant experiment chamber? Probably because you need Remnant for something you're planning to do,
I will put
which
you back
would be
together.
the bite victim. Yeah.
Well,
I
he'd
agree
be,
with
he'd
you.
be achieving. I'm looking at it more like he's trying to get Remnant. He knows Remnant is the answer, but he's experimenting with a few different ways to get it. So he's got two different experiments going on simultaneously. Both of them are in pursuit of the same goal, which is to put one
Yeah,
of the kids back together.
Yes.
But it's not even necessarily like, oh, well, I have to put my son and my, it's just like, I want to figure out how to put people back together after they die, because then I can do that for myself or something. You know,
but I think the
whatever reason
motivation
he
of it.
has
I
to
think the
figure that out.
motivation of it comes from the bite victim dying, and that's why you have.
Yeah,
the
I think
private
that's
night,
the
is
first
for
thing.
that
I think that's what he
exclusive
starts
purpose.
with.
Yeah. I think the private room is to show you, hey, this is the motivation for this whole thing.
But what if the experiment chambers didn't work,
What
and
if there
that's
were
why
no
he
experiment chambers?
started Circus Baby?
What if they
No,
were actually
maybe-
David Chambers? Yeah, they
Well,
were
maybe they
actually
aren't
David
infinite.
Chambers,
Is
buddy.
the fact that he survived.
Notice how only the
But getting
male
s-
children have nightmares in the security reach email.
Ooh.
Send
Scoop.
tweet.
And forming Ennard and putting Elizabeth back together, that was always the project. Sister Location is a giant death trap by design. For Michael, and for a bunch more kids than just the MCI. And with the use of the source code, we can finally prove that, once and for all. This doesn't exactly shatter the lore in any ginormous
What's
way.
the lore?
But it
Shatter?
does mean we have to start
Shatter?
rethinking some things. If a bunch more kids got captured that we don't know about, that for one could mean that Molten Freddy.
I really think Mike is being manipulated into help make Ennard. I don't think he's willingly risking his life at this point in the timeline. Yeah, I don't think Mike
agree.
knows what he's. Well, he says, it was right where
No,
you
it was
said
right
would
where
be.
you said it.
They
would
all
be. They
were.
were all there.
And I put it back
His-
together
his-
just like you
his-
asked
yeah.
me to.
Yeah, his just like you asked me to. He specifically specifies, I did exactly what I was told, just like you
Yes.
asked me to. Yeah, he doesn't go, Father, what the f is this? This f***ing sentient robot. What's
Father,
my
why did you
sister
do
do?
this
What
to
the
me?"
f?
He also
And now I got
he also
Ennard inside
says
of me?
that they were all there, like he knows who the MCI are, and that he knows that the kids.
So I
And-
think he
and
100%
then
knew.
Some of my
you
evidence
think
for
William
why
had like
Sister
a TED
Location.
talk. Do you think William had like a TED talk to Michael and just explained everything to him, and he just went and willingly sacrificed himself?
Yes.
I think it's a bit.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, what?
I-
How do you
I'm
interpret the?
thinking-
I should be dead. He doesn't sound very mad.
No,
Well, he's
I
also
disagree.
like a
He turns into a
depressed
cyborg
robot.
again. He's
No,
kind of pissed.
He went down there to take the little chip out of Baby. The rest of it was a trick. I do not think that the plan was for him to get scooped by Ennard. I don't think he intended.
Yeah, I don't think he was like, I'll go down here.
I think he
and
was
do
supposed
myself.
to like assemble it somehow.
Well, okay, so we have
But
a
then
couple
you
of
think
things,
Baby's
right?
being honest? You think the chip is Elizabeth? You think just taking the chip is putting her back together?
No, it's not.
That's
No, no,
there's
no.
I don't think
conflict
the chip-
in
No,
there.
I think-
because if that's what he was sent down there to do, that would be putting her back together.
I think the
That's
chip
what Williams said, but-
the chip is Baby, which is why when you take it out, it leaves Elizabeth behind. So now she can fully possess the animatronic.
But
I
here's
would
the
I would
thing,
be
right?
up
I
for the
disagree.
idea of him having to die in order to save her. And the reason I say that is because I think that there is something important about the fact that to get the Ennard Night, as in to get to the canon ending, you have to play the Circus Baby minigame, which one could argue is in the same way like a FNAF World or a Happiest Day. It's playing an 8-bit minigame and getting the correct ending, quote unquote, And that's necessary to see the canon part of the ending where he's like, I put her back together, just like you asked me to. So maybe there is an element of, if we go arcade theory or flip side kind of vibes, that maybe Michael had to die to access the kind of spirit side of things and play that mini game.
I just can't agree that the chip is baby, because we know the consciousness is in Ennard as well, because the Ennard talks like baby after that section when Ennard's following you and goes into the private room with you. Ennard speaks to you as like baby narrating, unless you're saying that baby just kills herself essentially. Like at the end of the game, baby's like, you know what? You're gonna get scooped. I'm fine with staying down here as a chip. I'm fine with just sitting as a chip on the floor forever, even though my entire motivation has been to get out. I'm fine. Actually, take Elizabeth. I'm gonna sit here on the floor.
When you take the chip out, baby's endo is already in Ennard. Like, if you do nothing, it's the same outcome.
Yeah, so then why would the chip be baby's AI if her AI can just be anywhere? Why does that matter?
I would say it's less of the chip being baby's AI and more that the chip is like a restraining bolt preventing Elizabeth from taking control.
And you believe we'll care. Here, daughter, have this anti-brain chip. I love you. I'm giving you this anti-brain chip because I love you.
Yes.
Okay, well, my personal opinion,
he was doing
this
it for
entire game
the right
is
reason.
chapped. This entire game is chapped.
Agree. Gameplay and lore-wise.
Listen, it doesn't matter because we all know the chip is actually David Murray because it didn't help his brain. Thank you, send tweet.
Yep.
FNAF was right. The baby mimic virus is coming for all of us.
Okay, so
the fourth Charlie bot.
So I was thinking about it earlier. The schedule part, perfect. Absolutely, I have nothing to say about it. It's just absolutely correct. I think you're 100% spot on with sister location being indicated of that weekly schedule. My issue with the conclusions, and again, it's not anything to do with like the evidence or how it's argued or anything. It's like they actually all work perfectly well. But I just have an issue with it as a story thing, and so you can say I'm addicted to copium if you would like to. It's totally fair. I just find the storytelling choice of being like, oh yeah, and these 5 kids are really important, but actually there's also like 50 other kids you don't see. And the way Scott seems to have focused the story by this point, it feels strange that he'd just sort of throw that out there. Like every time a kid is important, or every time a kid is a character, they become important, usually to the story. Right. The idea that, okay, they go out every day and the reason we bring them back and shock them is because they have Remnant inside them, and so that we're like tampering down their Remnant. But I would argue that a huge aspect of this game's story, and like almost the theme, is escape. It's about these characters who have been trapped in these bodies for what I think is like near 30 years at this point.
Yep.
And they have been in these for so long, and they are so impatient, and they are so wanting to escape and just live their own lives because they've been forced to do this for so long. I think the idea is, if Afton is still somehow in control of this or has influenced it to operate in this way, that the reason they are being brought out is to make money and observe, but also as kind of like this sick torture for the kids that like, oh yeah, they keep going out, they keep performing, they keep doing the thing they don't want to do. Or it could just be Fazbear's running it and doesn't understand that there's kids in there. But either way, the kids come back, but the kids are freaking out. And when they're at the parties, they're breaking down because they're trying to fight their programming so much. So then when they come back to the bunker and they have a little bit more freedom at night, like we have in the original games, they are freaking out and they're hurting people. And so our job is to go in and just shut them down basically every night. And when they do something really bad and they nearly escape, they get scooped. And that's why Ballora gets scooped. Because if it's just that they have kids inside them, you wouldn't need to scoop Ballora because she presumably can't carry any kids. So they have to scoop them as like a hard reset, but we're going in as like a soft reset every time.
Yeah, I agree. It's as like a hard. I agree. It's to reset the remnant or whatever. My thing would be, I think everything you just said actually helps the theory, because I feel like it would absolutely be torture for the kids to go out and have to kill more kids. And I don't know why they'd be so disturbed if they just went out and didn't do anything. In fact, Baby literally points out the same thing always happens. I keep doing this. I keep doing this bad thing, which implies that she is doing it.
This could be that whole final night, right? That whole night 5 is about it's the follow-up to what she says in 4, where Ballora can't play pretend, which is what I would argue is what happened, is that Ballora freaked out and tried to escape. And Baby is like, I'm the only one that's patient enough. I can take my time, and I know what's going to happen. I know we're going to become Ennard, because we got out once before, and they caught us, but I've thought about it, and they all need to calm down. They're not sane. They're not cogent. So they need to calm down and be patient. That's what she means by Ballora doesn't know how to pretend, but I do. And then the next night is her executing on that plan, that promise, is by saying, you know, I'm pretending. Remember how I said I could pretend? And then she immediately goes into this whole thing of like, there's something bad inside of me. And oh, all the other people are here. You need to take me to the scooping room. And she's tricking Michael to go to the scooping room because there's nothing bad inside of her. She's lying. She's like, oh, Michael, you need to send me. But we already know she's out of it. There's nothing in that suit anymore. She's already in Ennard at that point.
Then you have to ask how much of that speech is honest and how much of it is a lie.
And also how much
parts of it that are honest.
How much of that speech is Ennard and how much of that speech is Baby?
Well, I think Baby, the idea is she's the one in control, because then in the logs where she leaves Ennard, they say we don't have to listen to you anymore. So they used to listen to her. So in Sister Location, they're following her commands. Yeah. But then once they kind of get used to Ennard, they go, we don't need her. Get her out of here. So like, I think her personality is the one guiding the ship as Ennard. And you could argue that's why it's like a kid with a birthday hat, because she died, you know, at Circus Baby. Maybe that was at her birthday party, you know. But this idea that she is like the only one patient enough to actually execute this plan, and that's why they need her, is when they're going out, they're freaking out and just trying to be immediate, and they're breaking down because they're built not to be able to move away. So, like, I'd argue that's what happens in the week before. We see the early stages of that, and they're not very good at escape.
I think that the spirits aren't like the puppet where they're very cognizant. The spirits in the fun, the AI is very advanced, but the spirits themselves are very like confused. So I almost don't think it would have the awareness. Yeah, I almost don't think that children would have the awareness to recognize when danger is happening. I feel like the fact that they are breaking down and freaking out is because there is an extra stimuli coming in that is making them behave that way. So I think if other kids were being put in danger, I think that would cause them to freak out the way they are. And I think even, I can't, off the top of my head I can't, but even in some of the books, whenever a child is specifically put in danger, that's when the animatronics start freaking out.
Yeah, but I'd argue that in the first night we meet Funtime Freddy, we see him acting up. He's gone to mess with the breakers. Like he's just roaming.
Yeah, that's to get out. That's to get out of the bunker. That's because they want to get out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like, they are able to act out on their own. Like they don't need the external. They want to. The whole thing is about them wanting to escape. So you can imagine if they're being sent off some other side of the country, they're going to want to try and leave as soon as they can. So they freak out or they hurt people or they're trying to do that and then they break down. And the fact that they've been out as Ennard before means that they've been able to do this already, and now they might even be getting extra punished because they got to leave as Ennard once and then they caught them. And so they're going, these robots are always trying to run away. We got to keep shocking them every night, and we need like an employee to do that. Like that's their job. Because these things keep trying to leave. And that could be Afton, or that could just be the company running as it's supposed to.
My question then would be, why do you not need to shock them on the days they don't go out? Why are they suddenly like, okay, now they're chill today. Today Baby doesn't need to be worked on. She's fine.
Because what I'm saying is when they're outside, they're trying to escape. So when they're not, they're in the bunker, so they're contained, so they can't do anything. So they only break down when they go outside and they're trying to escape. You don't think they would be misbehaving at all or plotting to escape during the days that they're in the bunker? Oh yeah, no, they would be, but like it's not going to be the same frequency as when they're being
secretly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so you
like,
think the fun times? You think the fun times for years go outside and break down literally every single time without fail, and the business is still running properly?
Well, if that's what you're arguing is going to happen anyway, if all the kids get scooped and work. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like if that's what's with the kids getting scooped,
I find
that would be the same thing.
Okay, so you think it's because they try to run away? Mm-hmm. That is why they
try to run away, or they start acting out. Like that's why they're being shocked, is as a way of like punishing them. Basically.
Yeah, but Baby's too smart to do that. Baby's too smart to try to run away. So if that's what's happening, I don't see the point in shocking her to begin with, because she wouldn't be part of that plan to begin with.
That's a very fair point, because you do shock her when she goes out, but she's arguing about how Ballora shouldn't try to run away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I'll concede that is a very good
Let's
point.
go! Chat type 14. All right.
Oh my god. 14
Debate
Edwin's in
over.
the chat.
Anyone?
Edwin's in the chat.
Unwither wants Molten MCI to be true so bad.
Molten
I
MCI
do.
is
Molten
It's so
MCI
much
is
cleaner,
true.
it's so much
Attack on a bunch of
nicer.
random people. Molten MCI is
I know it is.
undeniably
I'm just
true.
saying it would be extra. I'm just saying it would be extra under what I'm saying.
It's just a few extra people. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's a
Schedule
few extra
feelings
people,
and
but then
break
all those
lore.
extra people become completely redundant when the game ends with a shot of all the kids' like graves on the hill. Like it's like if the camera would pan to the
The
left
six-
a little bit, there's just be rows
No.
and rows of children's
Trust
graves.
me.
Yeah, but then,
Trust
then
me,
there's
the
like
sixth
then there's
grave
more
is the
graves than
communal
help
grave of
wanted,
the
and
kids.
Elizabeth never gets one. And
Imagine those
That's
graves
true.
aren't the graves of the missing kids, and those were just the names of the kids that got kidnapped by the fun times.
yeah, the number
Like
of
in the- in
graves
86.
alters.
Yeah,
That is
it's
true,
6
but that's because
graves,
Andrew is
so-
in the game.
and it does.
Only
That's
Andrew's in
so
the games.
facts.
7 Andrews.
Andrew is the vengeful spirit. Yeah.
During the day, they are constrained by their programming, say 90%. And there's 10% of them in there that just wants to not do what they're doing, but it's very difficult.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
And
I'm
so
sure it's
stuff
torture for
like-
them, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like the bite or whatever is, a result of their programming being overridden by the immense agony. So they kind of either they break down or they act out. And so that's the kind of thing that we're seeing with the fun times is like when they go out, because it's been so long, because I think part of the game as well is like telling you they've been down here for a while. That whole idea ties in with like they've been out already, they know what it's like, and now they're being forced to do this over and over again for years. And like at this point it's the breaking point now. And she even says like if we get out and you don't let us take your skin, we're going to be destroyed. Like they're just going to give up on us, which to me is like this is the last straw.
Yeah.
Like they're really at the
we won't be able to
their
try
tether.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just like they won't put up with a third escape. They're not going to let us do that. So right now we're at the very peak of trying to keep these things contained, which is electrocuting them on nights after they've acted up in public, or even it could be an argument of like they're just shocking them in case. As like reset, like go out again.
Yes.
When they go out, they get a little bit agitated. So we just reset them every night.
So I'm almost wondering if it's the children that want that, or if it's just that the AI is so incredibly advanced that it knows. It's
I think the
being
children
forced
want
into-
that.
It's the children
think-
for sure.
Interesting.
I think
The
as
AI
much as I don't like the
Because
Okay, I
this,
just
this is what
wanna
I'm this is what I'm saying though. They shouldn't be able to form cognitive functions, should they? No, I guess Molten MCI in all the kids are in there in the
children
novels.
have
yeah.
a will,
and they
the children
talk
have a will.
in the
Yeah,
so
yeah.
as much as I don't like the idea of like the kids like in the movie being mech suits, like they're just wearing, as GiBi says, like just the ghosts wearing mech suits as they walk around and talk. I don't like that for most of the kids, but there is an undeniable element of Molten MCI having conscious thought in it, like actual things talking in words to other things with words.
Henry sucks, bro. Henry's the world's most unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
A wound first inflicted on me.
What does that mean? He burned down.
What else was there? Oh yeah. Are they still aware? I hope not.
Well, like because Charlie says they're like animals, but then we also see that they can coordinate and talk to each other. So
yeah.
I think maybe what it is behind in like the deepest layers, they are conscious. They are like literal consciousnesses being trapped. But as you go up and up in layers in like reality, when you get to the surface, they're not able to reach that kind of surface, so they act out violently, and it's just kind of their emotions that drive things. But there is still a conscious spirit somewhere on the flip side, But it's just that Charlie and Elizabeth have a closer tie to the current world that they can still communicate in that world or think, logically.
I think Molten Freddy and the Fun Times, etc., are... Their personality is their artificial intelligence, and they're animated by the Remnant. I don't think any of them are being... I don't think there's a dozen kids in there arguing about who gets to pilot it like it's Inside Out. I think Molten Freddy does what Molten Freddy wants to do. I do think Ennard has 5 voices inside of him. I think that Freddy, Foxy, Ballora, Baby, and Bonbon are in there fighting, but that's based on the personality of the AI.
Oh, you think it's the AI is the thing talking to talking to Elizabeth in the Molten MCI
I
teaser?
think yes, I think
Interesting.
say goodbye to our friend. I think that's Foxy, Freddy, and Ballora saying goodbye to Scrap Baby.
Yeah.
And you could actually say that Funtime Freddy being the voice of Molten Freddy is argument to be made that it's like, no, the AI came with them. Like they're not just the souls that have been taken out, because they're obviously made up of physical parts. So they are the combination of those robots, and the kids come with that, but they're not.
Yep.
It's not like the kids are now only in Molten Freddy. It's like they're inside of the fun times that are inside of Molten Freddy.
And then you want the biggest cope of all time?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how in FNAF 3, you lure Springtrap around with Balloon Boy's voice box because he's in animatronic mode, and so he has to follow the sound of kids' voices. So that's not... If William is in control, he could just walk up to Mike, but he's not. He has to follow the lures of the child's voice because he's bound by the programming of Spring Bonnie. I think the reason...
3 words.
No,
Dead by Daylight.
I think Dead by Daylight's not canon. I think the reason...
It's irrelevant.
I think the reason that William, Scraptrap, Springtrap is so stupid, theatrical, cheesy, dumb, annoying, not the way that I want him to act, is because Spring Bonnie is a performer. And so that's Spring Bonnie's personality mixed with William, and not William's personality. I will not take any notes. The books.
This isn't
books
cope.
And,
This is
books,
copium. This is like
books and movies aren't
this is like
canon.
a
By
shot of cope straight to the heart. I'm dying of cope. This is too much.
Coca-Cola.
Because in the movies, you got the how's it going, Mike? I'm Dave, and then
I know. I love.
I killed your brother, and now I'm going to kill you.
I love Afton being an idiot. It makes him makes his character so much better, because if he's just a generic silent stalker, that's cool. But him being this like weird, cheesy, lame loser while also being insanely overpowered and scary is very cool. I think it's
overpowered. Bro lost to a cupcake skull emoji.
the guy can look. Bro walks up to you, looks at you, and you die. I think that's a bit overpowered. He has the stare of death in FNAF 3. He's a bit OP.
Cupcake solos. Dragon Ball Z.
I miss when Springtrap had like ghost powers. I miss when he messed with technology and was able to.
What do you mean? Burntrap does that, guys. Come on.
He does it in DVD. He does it in DVD.
Burntrap.
I just mean like Scraptrap might as well just be William Afton in the Spring Bonnie suit, because he doesn't do anything that indicates he's any way, phantasmical. That's not a word, but
I know.
I'm amused by the idea that like they get to the birthday party and Ballora just starts rapidly spinning toward the highway to get away.
I'm running out on the road.
It's funny. I wonder, because the thing that gets them in really big trouble is what happens at the private party. So I'm interested about that specifically.
So the thing that Baby says on night 4, which is like the one where you get scooped, is presumably after the event she talks about the next day, which is why I think we have to look at those 2 speeches in contrast to figure out what actually happened, because one of them, in the Springlock suit one, she's being truthful, and in the night 5 one, she's being deceitful. And in the night 4 one, she talks all about pretending and being quiet and blah, 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 blah. And, let me see. I'm trying to find this exact line. Yep. So, okay. There's something very important that I've learned how to do over time. Do you know what that is? How to pretend. Do you ever play make-believe? Pretend to be one way when you are really the other? It's very important. Ballora never learns, but I do. And then she says, they think there is something wrong on the inside. The only thing that matters is knowing how to pretend. So she's saying...
I don't think they mean literally inside. They mean programming.
Yeah, they mean
then
there's
in the next night she uses the same wording about herself.
So you think
she's
that would
lying.
mean there's something bad in my programming?
No, it doesn't matter what it means. What I'm saying is on night 5 she's lying. She doesn't think that, they think that.
See, I can't go with the she's entirely lying on night 5 though, because then
Why would you
what is the chip?
The chip's just like, I don't know. No idea.
Exactly.
Maybe it was one of his.
Everything.
Maybe it was one of his mystery boxes. Maybe it was one of his
and then why? What's to say?
It became that with the mimic.
What's to
like
say she's not lying
now.
on? Because she talks in a bit of more of an aggressive tone on night 4.
Yes.
She talks in the lovely sing-song voice on night 3 as well. So what's to say she's not lying there? She talks in the same voice as like the lovely like.
Well, because night 3 she's talking about what happened to herself in the Circus Babies, and then we see that happen in the minigame, so we can presume that is reliable information. And I'd also say we don't know when she realizes who Mike is, because he says at first they thought it was William, and then they realized who he was. So we don't know when Elizabeth makes that connection. So she could still think she's talking to William on night 3 or on night 2, or she might not know who he is, or she could pretending not to know what you know. But what I'm saying is the wording of they think there's something wrong inside of me, on the inside. And then she says the only thing that matters is knowing how to pretend. And on the next night she goes, there's something bad inside of me. You have to take it out. You know, like she's doing what she said she was going to do the night before. She's like being honest with us. She's telling us like, no, I absolutely am lying.
Okay, adding on to the scooping section, right? The scooping thing.
Yeah.
It would seem that that's been around for a while, in the bunker, and
yes,
obviously we know because of the blueprints, it has a remnant reservoir. I'm not sure how much remnant it takes to power something, but I'd argue if you were using
uses like
it
a
for the
syringe
entire...
worth in Funtime Freddy and the books.
Yes, the syringe. Okay, that's true. I'm almost wondering if they'd eventually run out, though, because you have that whole "it's all automated, we don't have to be here for it," which I think is an interesting line. I almost think if the remnant is not being replenished, it wouldn't make sense for it to be an automated service.
Well, does it need to be like once you put remnant in something, do you need to like top it up, or does it just?
I would
work
assume so
forever?
because it's specifically noted that trace amounts of remnant need to be left on the scooper at all times. So I would assume that when you go in there and dig into it, you are putting some on the thing or in the thing you are scooping.
Yeah, the scooper.
I
don't
don't think.
Is like,
I don't think that there needs to be remnant on the tip. I think that's a side effect of how it works.
Yes, I think that's what they say.
You think it's taking remnant out?
No. I think that it's just sort of accidental that there's always some left on the tip. And that's just sort of Scott's explanation for why Mike survived. I don't think that the process is, okay, you got to make sure you always leave a little bit on the tip so it works. No, I think that when they inject it, there's always a little bit inside.
Why is there some? So the scooper is injecting more remnant every time. That's what I mean. What does it really do? What is it really for?
Well, okay, so let's look at the scalable creation of ulterior presence.
Yes.
Excavating arm, remnant injector, and then under remnant injector, it says notes leaves trace amount on interior overusage / overexposure, negates effect. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would imply to me that the more you do it, you're running out of it, or it's not going to work as much. Then arm base imbalance. So I think this might be a result of Scott having one idea in sister location and then being like, actually, I think 6, it might be better if it's an injector rather than a remover. Because like, why would it be a scoop if the idea is just inject something with, like, why does it have to tear out the insides?
I'm almost wondering where they would get all of it.
Unless the idea isn't that the scooper is injecting as it goes into the robot. The idea is that it injects remnant into what it scooped out. That's why it's a scoop.
And then you think that it puts the...
So
that could be,
the scooper in Ruin, its function is to grab stuff. So what if that's just a more efficient version?
Yeah, it grabs the... the scooper in Ruin grabs the mimic's endoskeleton and drags it out of the costume it's in.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has a big needle on it, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So it would be the idea that it's like the scooper is picking stuff up with it. That's why it's got a bucket in it, is because when it comes back out of the robot, and that's why the robots have the faceplates and stuff, is so that they can be crunched into and not destroy the robot. So they scoop them out, they inject whatever they just took out with remnant, and then it's either collected or automatically put back into circulation to be put back into the suit. They're taking out the endoskeleton, injecting it in the scooper, and just by that process, there is some remnant left on it, which is why when it scoops Mike, it injects him.
Yeah, he gets possessed.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't inject him, but it's like there's just a little bit left on it. So he just gets that. He doesn't get literally
now we're back. His
organs would have been
stupid problem though, because if it's so you're saying it's like taking the metal and submerging it in the remnant goo, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, in the reservoir thing.
Yeah.
But that way you would go through way more than a syringe amount really fast. Have you ever like dropped cooking like carrots in oil?
Well,
it soaks up a tablespoon like no one's business.
Well, that's literally what it says. It says notes.
So where are they getting it all? Because now we're using
trace line amount on interior. Well, okay, so I guess the question would be why do you have to keep injecting? Well, what if the idea is they're getting Remnant? Gibby, don't say anything. If they're getting Remnant from the nightmare chambers and they're putting it into the robots, that's what the nightmare chambers are for.
I'm fine with that too, but then they'd need to kidnap kids to get them there.
Yes, that's true. But that's what I'm saying is that could be the purpose. That could be why they have stomach hatches, and that could be the whole idea that Elizabeth wasn't supposed to be killed.
No.
That wasn't the idea. It was a mistake. So they were supposed to just kidnap kids to bring them to the experiment bunkers, and it went wrong with Elizabeth.
Which would make sense, because remember, those fun times do show up in some later iterations of the FNAF 4 house, which would imply
that's exactly what it is. That's 100% what the nightmare chambers are.
Specifically, only Baby and Freddy, which are the ones with stomach tanks.
Baby's in the FNAF 4 bedroom and help on it.
No, that's what I'm saying. So is Funtime Freddy. Funtime Freddy.
And so is Funtime Freddy. They're the only ones that are in the FNAF 4 bedroom.
Funtime Foxy and Ballora aren't, because they would never be
there.
depositing the kids there. Only the stomach tank animatronics show up in the FNAF 4 house.
Funtime Foxy is also
and that makes so much sense because then you have a renewable source.
Only for luring. Funtime Foxy has an anchoring feature. His whole thing is to lure. Ballora's thing is to make them follow her, basically, because
I'm saying though, like, if Baby and Freddy, the ones that specifically have the stomach tanks, are the only ones we ever see in the FNAF 4 house, it would make sense that they have the kid go dump him out and leave.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Yeah.
like
So
that. I like
okay.
that.
So
I
that
like
and
that.
that makes sense because then you have a renewable source of Remnant.
Yes. Yep. I like
makes
that.
This is Remnant Farm Theory. That's what I'm calling it. Remnant Farm Theory.
Remnant or Agony?
Well,
I'm fine with
it's
that.
the same thing in Cisco Location.
Cisco Location is the same
So
thing.
the idea is that the Baby or Freddy kidnaps a child. They return underground. They drop them in the FNAF 4 room, which is underground.
Yeah.
They then Afton does nightmare experiments on them to harness their agony. The scoop is used because the exoskeleton plasticky bits are, who cares about those? So the scooper destroys those, removes the interior endoskeleton, bathes it in Remnant and Agony to bring it to life more.
Yeah.
And this happens regularly.
It's all automated, brother. It's all automated.
And there's always some left on the scoopy bit, so that when Mike is scooped, it destroys his organs, but he is kept alive and then healed after Ender leaves him.
His corpse has the little bit of extra remnant left. Like, actually, what would actually happen is his organs would be scooped out, and then the organs would be bathed in the remnant.
Yeah,
so his organs, just by automation, were like dipped in remnant. Maybe we've got little organs running around.
Yeah, it's the Deadpool problem. If you cut off Deadpool's head, does his head grow a body or his body grow a head? It's like, well, it should be both, I guess. But
honestly, it should be the body, because the body is where his heart is. So I guess that would be kind of the origin of the. I don't know if there's a science to his mutation, but
that's true actually.
If there is a science,
this is a really big stretch. This is a really big stretch. Wouldn't it be interesting if that's what like Private was? If Private were the days they collect, and that's why specifically that day she's like, "There's something bad inside of me because today was the day I was gonna."
No, she's lying when she says that.
Blah, 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 blah.
I think like,
she's literally saying
the in-game intention of that line is to get you, the player, to be like, I am Elizabeth and I'm scared. There's something bad inside me. That's Baby's programming that wants to snatch kids. Get me, Elizabeth, to freedom.
He just had to pair it with gooey, gross bone blood noises. Like, he could have just left that out and I'd be like...
So I was thinking about this earlier, right? You were saying that it was supposed to play in the scooping room.
Do you think that's the sound of Remnant, then?
I think it might be the sound of Remnant or of Ennard. Because you can think about it. You're Scott, right? You're making this big,
why does Ennard sound like that?
monster. You're making this big, gooey, like slimy monster that's supposed to be made up of all the like Remnant, right? Like that's the idea of Ennard. And you've got tendrils basically all over it. How do you indicate it's creepy in a dark room? It's like you make it slimy sounding, and you're like, why would it be slimy? It's metal, ugh. And it makes it it's called innards. Like his name is innards. He should sound like organs.
I like your I like that particular version better, because if they can reuse some of the kids, they would have to kidnap
they wouldn't
less
just die.
total. But they're still not on the grave, so ha 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 hee hee hoo.
That's true. We don't know they died. They could be like what's his name in the book, and he lived
Rory?
to 25.
You think he's just letting him out?
Well, I don't know. Someone might find him. Henry could find him.
Oh, a dead body was found in this vent one. Boom.
No, we talked about this earlier on the stream.
He escaped.
If there's lots of test chamber kids, I don't think Rory is games canon, and there's no way the body in the vent was Rory, but it could have been another one.
No, but I'm saying, like any of them. I'm not saying literally Rory, but like that's showing us that these kids lasted a while.
Yep. I will say, like, I don't think that nightmare test chambers are impossible. I just think that if we're I am personally throwing out tails, and so now I'm back to being neutral on test chambers. That's why I'm anti this
So
stuff.
my thing is,
GiBi,
I
we
think the
see
Nightmare
test chambers
Chambers was
again.
already an idea before Dittoaphobia. Like that was kind of the concept, right? Like with Observation 1 and 2 and like the kind of idea was like somehow the nightmare experiments were made by Afton. Like, and that was what the whole thing of like Mike went through them. We didn't have that after Dittoaphobia. Like the whole thing was Mike is the quote unquote dreamer because he's going through these nightmare experiments, and we kept calling him like, you know, the experiment victim, whatever. Like that was a theory before Dittoaphobia, so we can still use the same evidence, but we can't say,
He
oh
was
well,
the
Dittoaphobia
Remnant
confirms
man.
it.
Yes, I was just never a fan of it to begin with, and then when the books confirmed it, I was like, well, okay. But now that they aren't confirming it, I'm like, well, back to where I was.
What I would say is, as much as the tales like didn't have the actual story of what happened in the games, what I will say is they didn't like say that the mimic was like a fucking computer that like was the internet before the internet or something. Like they didn't completely go off the beaten path in terms of what they were saying about the games version. It was just that the details, and like obviously it was a lot of broad strokes things as well, but in terms of what the mimic was, we kind of knew what it was from reading the book and from seeing it in Ruin. So we kind of were like, oh yeah, like the mimic. It didn't come up with something, and it didn't make a different character that's not aimed Edwin, who didn't have a wife named Fiona. Like the kind of some of the like, if you squint a little, they've got the similar elements. So I would say with Dittoaphobia, while it's not confirmed, I wouldn't say, well, Dittoaphobia is just a straight up lie that has like, it's just like making a theory apart for no reason. I would say this is probably showing us something around what Scott is thinking about those nightmare chambers, because I think it would be very strange for him to just put out something that was completely misleading away from the idea of those chambers.
Have you guys read The Breaking Wheel, like yourselves?
I have.
Yeah.
I watched you read it.
I think there's a lot to be said about whatever Scott was trying to tell us with Breaking Wheel, where he's like, okay, so there's a house, and inside the house is an identical model of the same house, and then the character bullies someone, and they get turned into a monstrosity, and they follow him home, what have you brought home, and then they jump out of the replica of the house that's inside the house, and then they get their revenge. I think that's so FNAF 4 coded, and I would almost rather read into the whatever symbolism or parallel Scott's going for there than to take Dittoaphobia literally.
Yes.
That's
okay. Unwithered, I want to walk through something with you real quick.
Yeah.
Just like just thought experiment. Okay. So Circus Baby's Pizza World is prior to Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Afton owns both of them at the start. I know Afton is gone during the game, but he is present and involved with both at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Elizabeth gets kidnapped. Circus Baby's Pizza World shuts down. So now we have the fun times. At some point in time, we have the fun times with nothing in them except for Baby, who has Elizabeth. Now, after this happens, presumably after she gets possessed, the rental service begins operation.
Yeah.
Now, Funtime Freddy's Blueprint.
After Freddy's closes.
Yes. Funtime Freddy's Blueprint specifically has a child in the stomach, which is a very strange choice for Scott to make if that was never going to be used, to draw that in there if that was never the point. My thing is, we eventually down the timeline get to the point where all of the kids are being scooped. And so I think we would need to create a gap of time where the business is running, like Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental is running, but not really. Like in the sense that the other three animatronics don't go out while only Baby is possessed. Because if they do, right, they would certainly kidnap a kid, because then they have nothing on the inside that's stopping them from doing that. So it would have to be that after they get retired, William starts scooping all of them immediately, because otherwise, if he's working on Elizabeth, who is the only one possessed right now, while the business is also running, the business would be going out and getting new kids, because there would be no programming or new kids to interfere, which would depend on when Molten MCI happened.
The idea of sending them out to people makes more sense than having them all disappear from a central location. because like William has had that go wrong for him before. So if the idea is Pizza World shuts down and he's just got Elizabeth and he's like, "Ugh," and she didn't even kidnap her, like she's dead. Maybe he puts Mike in the nightmare chambers to start. He's like, well, I was supposed to have some other kids, so I'll put Mike. He throws in Mike, whatever. Mike goes through them. Or something. He doesn't maybe throw Mike in, he waits a little bit and then the MCI happens. I think William may have done the MCI intentionally to shut down Freddy's so that Circus Baby's rentals would be successful. So if you think about it this way, if he needs Remnant and he needs to get it fast, he's looking at Freddy's and he's going, well, they're drawing up all the business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut them down and open up the kidnapping service where I send them out and get kids. And that's when the nightmare experiments properly start, is post MCI. But I just had an idea. If we need a reason for Mike to draw Nightmare Fredbear in the logbook, he's literally got the coated remnants of kids who had been through the nightmare chamber.
Oh yeah, GiBi thinks the same thing.
Yeah, like it was when
I remember him bringing that up.
He got the memories of whoever of fight victim. I don't think Golden Freddy is in Molten MCI or in the Fun Times at all. So I don't think he could be getting those from Bite Victim's dreams or anything.
Yeah, it all depends for me, because I refuse to believe that Follow Me happens in 1985.
No. Follow Me happens after FNAF 1. But what happens is maybe he runs out of kids, because at that point he's on the run. This is post FNAF 2. He's like on the run. He's not got like a solid thing. He can't run his bunker the way he used to. He's not even part of the company anymore. So he's like, okay, either he's like, okay, I don't want ghosts to come and kill me, or he's like, well, I got a bunch of Remnant sitting topside. I just have to go and get them and bring them down and throw them into the bunker.
So I was getting water. You were talking about how I think that Mike has the memories of the MCI kids in it.
I remember you saying that once. I remember you saying that
once.
Yes,
I absolutely believe that, because that's how it works in the Silver Eyes. True. I think that explains a lot of things. I wish that the game sort of confirmed it more than just by saying, oh, well, that's what happens in the Silver Eyes. But I missed whether or not you made the connection that might mean that FNAF 4 is Mike remembering one of the MCI kids' memories. Yes. Is that what you said?
Or no, not one of the MCI kids. One of the kidnapped kids who's going through those experiments.
One of the kids that got turned into the Remnant. Yeah, one of the Remnant kids.
Yeah.
Yes, so
he's getting like that.
By the era of the logbook, he could be having dreams about the memory of one of the kids who he was previously injected with.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's very possible. I think it's possible that person is Crying Child. But it also could just not be.
Could be.
Or it could be David Murray, who knows?
If Crying Child went through... I was just saying this. I don't think Golden Freddy is in Molten MCI or the Fun Times. I don't think he is a part of that amalgamation.
Well,
so...
Golden Cassidy or Dave or both?
Dave. At least Dave. I don't know about Cassidy. I don't even think she might be there. We'll see. It depends on who you think the Toy Shink is, and if you think it's Cassidy, then she's with William, or if it's Bite Victim, that he's with William, or if one of them doesn't exist, it's with the there's a lot of extra stuff you can put on top of it.
Fazent says Toys possessed by the MCI scrapped, and then the Fun Times in 1987.
They're in everything, bro.
Toys MCI is just objectively not true.
Toys MCI is absolutely true.
Toys MCI is not true, and denying DCI is denying the obvious sent tweet.
Okay. It's my point in bringing that up. Like, now we have Circus Baby's Entertainment Rental in a state where currently only Baby's possessed and none of the others are. I feel like at some point, at least Funtime Freddy has to kidnap someone, because we eventually get to the point where they're all being scooped.
You know who he kidnapped? Crying Child, because Crying
Well, they're
Child
being
got
scooped
tricked
because they have the
Fredbear.
MCI kids in them.
So you think for the first however many years they were open, they were not being scooped or shocked?
Yeah, because maybe what he was doing was he was going, okay, so what I need is kids to be kidnapped, put into the nightmare bunkers. And then I'm going to use the remnant I get from that to work on Elizabeth. I'm going to try and put her back together first. And that's why she's the one that, like, back in the day when she was the only one that was possessed, she was probably the only one getting scooped.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, it's like, oh, I just take the one that has possessed stuff in it, and then I'm going to fill it with the robot stuff, the nightmare gas results. And then when the MCI kids are brought into it, when he Molten MCIs them, that's when the other ones start to get scooped because they start acting up and they need to be tested on more.
Yes. I think a kid has to get kidnapped though, because whatever way you slice it, because we know that Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental opened sometime around 1985 when he would not have the Molten MCI stuff yet. He wouldn't have that Remnant currently in 1985. He gets it later, right? We think that. Like he does not get the Molten MCI. He doesn't do Follow Me in 1985. Follow Me is after 1985.
Yes, but
okay. So
are you saying Circus Baby's Pizza or Circus Baby Entertainment and Rental?
Entertainment and Rental opens after 1985.
Yeah,
right? Like after the MCI, but not too
after the
far
MCI
after.
closes Freddy's.
Yes, but not too far after because that's listed as a motivation for an opening.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that at some point this business exists before he has the Remnant from the MCI kids in the fun times.
Yes.
And we need to remember that this is William Afton. I guarantee you he is not just sending them up there for fun. So he is sending them up there before they are all possessed, which means the ones that are not possessed at the time during like 1986 would be operating according to the programming and getting new kids.
I disagree.
What if he got Michael?
Well, how do you disagree? Why would they not be operating according to the programming?
No.
What's interfering with those ones?
I'm saying that he could easily have the MCI's Remnant even before Follow Me, because the MCI Remnant is in the toys.
I wonder. Do you think that's why they're like withered? Then he's taking them like one by. I don't know. It's weird. If he's taking it piece by piece.
No, I think that's my rube.
Yeah, that's weird.
I think it's
that's the truth. That's the unwithered truth.
I think it's in the toys, and I think that he has access to them during FNAF 2.
Oh, that's why he was at FNAF 2? That's why he was at FNAF 2?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... This is one of my less confident theories, but he could be taking the bodies out of them during what we call the DCI. Either way, he absolutely has access to the MCI Remnant before Follow Me.
If he wants it.
If he wanted it, and I think he does.
I just think that at a given point in time, some of the animatronics that are programmed to kidnap children are sent to go do so without anything interfering with that objective. And then later more is that. So at some point they probably stop doing it as much maybe, but I think at one point in the timeline, Funtime Freddy, Ballora, and Funtime Foxy are active and have nothing to stop them from I am Ballora. Hello kids, come here.
So what if we have this situation where, let me see if I can keep my own train of thought. So William is, if we tie it into this idea that the kids dying or being kidnapped or whatever at parties is similar to how Elizabeth would have died, and if we maybe keep that idea of like making the deaths similar is important to putting them back together, maybe at some point William realizes, oh, Nightmare Chamber stuff isn't enough. I actually need Remnant, which is more similar to Elizabeth's. Like, I actually need Remnant that is from a similar source, the same kind of event. And that could be his motivation for... Yeah. No, just to do the MCI. Because he could go...
Oh, to do the MCI.
Oh, I need a bunch of kids killed at a birthday and then stuffed into their suits. That's what happened to Elizabeth. So then I can do that.
He wants to test... He's testing the water for Seabear. Because he knows that after Pizza World... So he knows that he wants to kidnap kids. His original intention is probably the nightmare experiments because he's imitating Crying Child. He realizes in the process of doing so that Elizabeth getting like sucked into the Circus Baby and dying there made Circus Baby act up. So he's testing the water. He's going, okay, this happened, but it only happened once. So I'm gonna do it in a practical way. Gonna test it and figure out if this happens more. So he does it 5 times, scientific method. He kills the kids, and it works. And he's like, okay, this works. So Seabear is ready to go. He opens Seabear, and he starts getting the kids for both the nightmare
Killing
experiments
kids at birthday party?
At birthday parties, yeah, for Seabear. You know who else he killed at birthday parties? The MCI. It says if he likes killing at birthday parties, because that's a thing he does. Because Elizabeth died on her birthday.
There's also observation 2 and 3, so maybe he's got a couple of kids going at the same time. He's got like one kid in the FNAF 4 bedroom
hallway.
He's got one kid in the plush trap hallway, and he's got one kid playing out FNAF 4. I don't know.
If you think about
diversifying income streams.
The plush trap hallway isn't like a canon thing that Mike would have gone through, because I don't think he went through the experiments. But even if Crying Child was there, which I also don't think he was, Mike could have been. Like, Mike I'm more open to. Crying Child definitely didn't. Like, that plush trap hallway is a purely...
I actually heard the other day that the reason the Crying Child is crying all the time might be because he went through FNAF 4 during the gameplay, or like right before it. And the reason it says like, remember what you saw is because FNAF 4 gameplay already happened. The night gameplay comes
Remember
before
what you saw?
he dies.
Those giant robots.
Those
Like,
giant
what?
robots in a random bedroom that
Your
isn't even
bedroom.
yours.
No, that doesn't make sense
And you
because
dreamed the
because
future.
again, this
I'm
is
just,
like
I'm
if
just saying
people-
something I heard. Yeah.
This is
I
taking like
that.
the thing that people do where they take like just like if you wrote down what happened on a piece of paper and like tried to order them in certain ways. But if you look at the actual information in FNAF 4, the nightmares are a result of what happened to Crying Child. All of the characters are representative of the bullies, and they pick you up above their heads. And then Nightmare is like mouths on mouths.
And they eat you.
And the pills and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like to say that those were all coincidental elements before that ever happened to the Crying Child is to take it completely out of the context of that game. It's like at the end we kind of go, "Oh, I didn't realize it, but the nightmares are of what happened. You know, like this all took place after what I'm seeing. You know." And that's the kind of reveal of FNAF 4. So to just say like, nah, that happened beforehand because it could make sense. You know,
I'm just saying, at least one kid has to get snatched by Funtime Freddy.
Or Michael goes in.
Why
it was
build the
right
snatch?
where you
Why
said
make
it would
the
be.
Snatching blueprint.
It was right where you said it would be.
Okay,
In my old bedroom.
I agree with you, TD. But to play devil's advocate, like the kid in the blueprint could just be okay. A kid fits in here. Like it's just indicative of
why would you?
Here.
There are certain design choices we were curious. Why would he make that just for like, look at this, guys?
No,
but hang on. To be
the
fair,
objective is to kidnap kids. The objective is to kidnap kids. It's just maybe it just didn't. I think it did.
It's a blueprint. That was him drawing where a kid would go. That's like that was what it was like a to scale thing. It was like, oh yeah, he's big enough to fit a kid of this size.
It's not like Funtime Freddy was like captured a kid and William sat down at his table and's like, oh yes, let me draw the child inside the. It's like, come on.
That's not what I was saying was happening. I'm saying it's designed to do that. Yeah, and I think the fact that
it is designed to do that.
But it's operating up its own accord before Molten MCI for a long time.
I know what you're saying. It should. It should have kidnapped someone, and that could be Rory.
Or Andrew. Yes, Andrew's finally.
Or he just. And that's like. It could just be, he makes Michael do it. Like we could just say that, and then we don't have to go. It's actually Michael remembering the memories of a kid that went through an experiment, which was based on the event that he caused to his. We just go, no, he was the first nightmare subject. I forgot to show you guys. My girlfriend got me. We were at a fair recently, and they had one of those like big stands with knockoff Lego minifigures. They had FNAF figures. So I got Lolbit, I got Nightmare, I got Golden Freddy, I got Nightmare Freddy, and I got the Endo 02.
Is that like
and they're like proper Lego figures?
Are these the official FNAF ones, or are they like totally custom made?
There is no official like FNAF Lego. There's the ones from like McFarlane, but these are Lego minifigures that are custom.
That's awesome.
Cool. That's really cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'll send it to
right before I made my big FNAF video, I was at a it's this giant, I'm gonna call it a rummage sale thing, but it's like a charity thing where people donate and then you go and you get stuff for cheap. And they had every original, dozens and dozens of copies of every original FNAF knockoff Lego set, and they were like $1 each. I could have gotten every minifig, every whatever, but I'm like, I don't really care about FNAF. God, if I could do that now, I'd love having all those little guys.
Damn.
But yeah, send a picture.
And just to clarify, I think I'm right, but I could be wrong. The whole like, oh my god, they're kidnapping new kids. That's just a way to interpret the fact that the animatronics are so restless. It could be they just want to get out, but I think it would be cool if part of the reason they're so desperate to get out is because they're being psychologically tortured as well. And they have to go out and hurt new children and all this stuff. I think it adds to the like emotional impact of it. But it could also be something entirely different. Yeah, like either they're kidnapping just for the experiments, or once they become sentient, they try to get away because that's just what a human consciousness would naturally do. No one likes being in jail.
You know what I have to say to that?
Same old phone?
There we go.
Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
guarantee you get to use that
Same
shit
old
like
phone?
3 times before a
Nah.
giant pixelated crease forms down the middle and you can't see anything.
Exactly.
And you spent $1,000 and then you go back to
The
T-Mobile and
Remnant
the
starts
manager
leaking
says,
out.
"Oh, your warranty actually only lasted 30 days and it's been 31." So then you have to cry because you wasted your paycheck on a Samsung.
Upgrade to
Galaxy.
the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
I don't.
I used to work
Look
at
at the comments.
phone
I bet the
store.
comments are funny as
That
hell.
was
There's
very
two comments. I bet they're
Yeah.
funny as hell.
So this is not Samsung. So someone just decided to upload this ad on its own. This guy is so fine. I need to find who
Definitely
this guy
manages
is.
a store. Definitely manages a store.
I sent the Lego.
They're,
into the
simp-
chat.
they're simping over the ad? The guy in
Yes,
the ad?
yes, the guy in the ad.
Same old phone? Nah.
It's just a
I mean,
dude.
he's
This
like,
guy-
he looks like
this
he
guy
looks
is
like a
so
manager
fine.
at Chili's. I
I need to know who this guy's name is. This guy is so fine.
Looks like he works at Chili's. I mean, he's not ugly. He's alright. He got a nice little mustache.
He's not ugly, yeah.
Yeah. I'd kiss him.
I need more FNAF merch. I have like none at all.
I have like the book.
I love these.
I have almost every single book and 2 Funko figures, and that's it.
Why's he got a black sweater on?
Oh
Wait,
my
what's
gosh.
up with Golden
The Endo.
Freddy? Why is Golden Freddy like?
He's sitting and his
Just-
head is tilted. I love him. I love him.
That makes sense.
I was
'cause, you know, he's got
trying to make
well,
him look
yeah.
like FNAF 1.
Head tilted. 14.
14.
14.
Yeah, there was no spring trap, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame.
Alex
there
S,
was
I can
Ballora
confirm the
like a
spring is
million
still great.
times and gold and stuff. There was a Balloon
drop your
Boy.
phone.
There was Nightmare Chica, Nightmare Bonnie, regular Chica, I think. There's a lot, but I got these 5 because they were expensive.
How much were they?
Sorry,
Sigma
excuse me.
14.
How much were they?
I think it was like one of the, because it was just this stall that was set up, so it was very much like, you know, oh, it'll be 5 for 15 or whatever. You know, it was just haggling. So I think I got the 5 for 15.
Oh, that's
Haggling
that's
it.
not bad at all.
That's actually pretty
No,
good.
it was fine, but it was like
$3
that was only
each,
because I'd
yeah.
struck that particular deal, you know. But I was technically getting them cheaper than they should have been. But you know, it could have been a lot more if I cut all of them.
Yep.
So to end off our conversation, I just got a notification on my phone. So you're telling me baby kidnapped 14 babies?
Who said that?
Wait,
No, just like YouTube commenter.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, on
That's
the
so
video.
Scott Coffin emailed you. Scott Coffin emailed you and was like, "Yep, that's right,
Yep.
baby. Kidnapped 14 babies. That's
14
that's my
babies.
yeah, that's
lore."
the 14th victim that we didn't. That's the one you shouldn't have killed. Was the Nightmare
that's right.
Experiment kid?
We need
I
to
love
come
my
up
I
with,
love yeah.
we need to come up with the name of the 14th victim. Just someone like Glorbo Bleebus. Like,
Glorbo
just- okay,
Bleebus.
Oh,
Fritz.
Fritz.
Tiffany. It's all Tiffany.
His name is Fritz.
Again, Fritz too.
Fritz the goldfish.
Yeah, he's just another
I
Fritz.
love-
There's
yeah.
multiple.
I love to
Well,
put
here's
him in
here's
front of
one
the
thing,
bed.
because you said earlier, we were joking earlier about like, oh, non-canon knights can't be used, and you said like, oh, well, like
Mhm.
Fritz Smith isn't canon.
Oh no.
Genuinely, I think Fritz Smith in
No.
the second game was a joke character because his name is Mike Schmidt, but you reverse which word is in German,
No.
and it's a joke about the first
That's
game because
true.
Mike is like,
That's
I think
true.
Mike in German is Fritz, and then Schmidt is Smith.
Yes.
Oh,
So
I
it's
didn't
a
even know
joke
that.
about Mike Schmidt.
Wait. Let me confirm that.
I
You
didn't
guys
even know
didn't
that.
Yeah,
know
I've
that?
heard
Okay.
I've heard people.
Okay. I looked up Mike in German and it said Mikrofon, so that's the wrong kind of mic.
Let's go.
No, okay, guys. Maybe I'm just completely stupid then, because I remember
No,
this.
it's funny.
Smith
a
and
while
Schmidt
back.
are
I
the
was like,
same.
that's amazing.
Smith and Schmidt are definitely
Schmidt
the
and
same.
Schmidt
Yeah,
and
Schmidt and
Smith are the
Smith.
same.
Some
And
people are
Fritz being
saying
a German
Fritz
name
is,
is a
is like Freddy, so it could be just like a double joke, I guess. But what I mean is like his name, I don't think was supposed to be some crazy lore thing. It was like it was kind of a, you know, it was a take on, and that's like
both
the
custom
odor. It's
nights
like you're
are a
smelly.
joke.
Lol.
Yeah,
Was
like,
a
you're a
take
silly
on
gamer.
me?
That's the joke.
Take me on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even make sense why they would hire a security guard after the place is closed down. Like why? Like
It makes sense. It's just not very like.
yeah, but as in like in
Lore.
terms of the story, it's like okay, there's no like they're usually revolving around like an open Freddy's, you know, and it's just
Yeah,
like
that's true.
well, the place is
But-
gonna close down,
Like-
and then immediately they just hire some guy.
Now that we know that Schmidt's a fake name, it
Right.
makes it a lot easier to swallow that Fritz Smith is also an alias.
Chat, if you
Do
haven't
we
gone
think
to
Fritz is
schedule
Mike?
a
I
theory, you should
don't. I
go.
don't think he's Mike.
Me and Witherd talked about this because the iceberg, the phantoms
Yeah.
to me do help prove that he's Mike.
Yeah,
I feel
me
like
as well.
Yeah.
Genuinely,
Technically, it isn't
like,
canon that he's any of them.
I've
really,
changed a lot of
but-
beliefs. I've changed a lot of beliefs over time as I've been exposed to more ideas from different people. I've like juggled around ideas. The one that I will never understand is how ever. I will ever. Even if it gets confirmed, I will not get it. It makes no sense.
Chat, like the video.
He is-
Anyways,
He is even
Continue.
if Frights Games was canon, there is no way for what we found canon, which is why Frights Games is impossible. But there is no way in the world where Hudson Foster being the FNAF free night guard any sort of sense whatsoever.
okay. Does anyone in
such
this
a
call
strange
think Andrew has a chance of being the vengeful spirit still?
No.
There's a slim chance, and I do not believe in it.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's just so weird because
But
now
here's
like
the thing.
now we're
Like,
even
there-
further back than we were because now like we don't have any information about him because it's all the books could do whatever they want.
But
So-
it's stupid because they're like, oh yeah, the books aren't canon, and then they continue with Secret of the Mimic having insane amount of mask and alligator imagery. Like you get Old Man Consequences, you get Monty being a part of the original band, like Monty's fishing game tying to Old Man Consequences. You get all those masks tying to Souls, which ties back to Andrew's gator mask from the books. It's like all this foreshadowing, all these like little details, like sneaking of the sixth victim into the pit and like all the hype up of
Yeah, I
Andrew,
know.
and then they just kill off the book.
Yeah, my big complaint of the Andrew stuff was always like, okay, it's a character like so little about. Whereas at least with like the David, you shouldn't have killed stuff. He's related to other characters. If I'm right in any any of them, not even God David, but like let's say like they're similar in spirit, whatever somehow Fate Fiona, yeah, that thing, whatever. I'll give that to
Absol
GiBi.
just said this to me.
So let's say like that. At least with that, even if David was the vengeful spirit, we have kind of gotten information on him before. But with Andrew, it's like I always hate how we knew nothing about him, and now we know even less than we did because the books are definitely almost certainly not a 1-to-1 with the games. Because look at what the Mimic
That's
was.
the thing.
That was like
So Andrew is sort of coated in the paint of Ultimate Custom Night. Like he's a creepy spirit latched onto Afton after a fire, and he wears an alligator mask, which makes us think about Old Man Consequence. But I think those are more visual representations of Ultimate Custom Night than it is like, Andrew can only be linked. If you ever see an alligator in the game, it's because it's Andrew. It's like, no, it's relating to Old Man Consequences.
Yeah.
And what Andrew is relating to is Old Man Consequences. So people think it's like, oh, Andrew's the most important alligator, but really that in itself is a reference to UCN. So UCN is the origin point. So if we see an alligator, we should think Old Man Consequences, not the other way around.
Yes. Alligator
Old Man
equals
Consequences.
OMC.
There's a lot up with Old Man Consequences. I don't know if I accept him just being a deity. I think there's a bit more to him than just that. But I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. Old Man, it seems very, very like it's very eldritchy of a guy whose name is Old Man Consequences, who lives in this like very non-literal world, and he is like the embodiment of consequence and
the embodiment of fate, Fiona.
no, he's Edwin. He's
Old Man
So
Edwin
like
Quinces.
I can see him being a more like eldritchy kind of character. I'm totally fine with that because it's not like important to what's going on. It's not like Old Man Consequences is doing stuff to make anything happen. So it's okay for him to be kind of like this godly entity. Whereas it would be different if like if he was like punching William or whatever, he showed up to like bite us on the head, then it would be like, well, maybe we shouldn't introduce literal gods into the story. It's going to get confusing, but he's so separate that it's okay for him to not be somebody we know.
Yeah, Old Man Consequences is something I could see like some like old guy calling God, like you sinned and now you're gonna have to meet Old Man Consequences upstairs.
Yes,
I feel like that's
that is actually like a good point.
Yeah, the God would be Old Man Consequences.
Fazbear Entertainment just had a really interesting idea in chat. I think OMC is literally the manifestation of consequences. That's why he helps Glitchtrap 2. He doesn't have morals. It's purely the idea of actions having consequences, which is a very like neutral gray.
When does he
area
help
to put
Glitchtrap?
him.
So how is he doing? Because FNAF World, he's the consequence of going too deep, of going to the fourth layer. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
What about UCN? Relays consequences other than you're tormenting William.
Cassidy tormenting all the other kids.
Yeah,
rest his soul.
Well,
but the other kids aren't there. But okay,
Yes, they are.
They're not.
The puppet is. For
What
sure.
is this new prison?
The puppet is.
Is it you trapped or is it us both?
The puppet's in there.
No,
for show.
Jeremy's in there too.
Oh, Jeremy is not in there.
Everyone's in there.
You know why? Because he's
Jeremy
buried.
is possessing
passed on in
both
FNAF
the
6.
Withered Bonnie and Classic Bonnie?
Yeah,
They're-
he's in both animatronics at the same time. That
Yes,
makes
just like
perfect sense.
Elizabeth is in Baby and Scrap Baby.
He's simply mimicking.
No.
them.
The Baby and Scrap Baby never exist at the same point in time. In UCN, both Bonnie and Withered Bonnie can be active.
But
You know
those
what I
are
mean?
just
It's weird.
It's a
It's weird to
purgatory
create-
thing.
Yeah,
So
it's
who does-
non-linear. It can all happen at the
Yeah,
same time.
it's
that's
sure
fine.
it's non-linear, but then are all of them possessed?
Yes.
Why do some of them seem to have intentions?
Well,
Is Music
so-
Man possessed?
So
Why
that's
does
the thing
Music
is
Man
that's
hate
my
noise?
issue with it. Is it's like do we just have some of the characters that we're fighting are possessed and some of them are just completely made up? Because that feels a little bit strange. It feels a little bit weird to kind of like not draw attention to the fact that some of them are actually the spirits. Like I know you do in the voice lines, I suppose, but like nothing about their actions in the game change, and nothing about the game would change whether there are or are not spirits there, I suppose.
I think Bonnie wouldn't say, "What is this new prison? Is it us trapped or is it you?" Perhaps it's both. If his
That's
spirit
fair, but
wasn't
I
in
mean,
there.
could you also believe that in this sort of like pocket dimension that the one you should not have killed is strong enough, if they're able to create this at all, to also create like sentient copies,
I mean,
like that inhabit this
it's-
world?
It's possible because it's all like magic nonsense. It's possible, but I don't
Yeah.
think Scott would have written that line and also written the puppet going, "The
Sure.
others are like animals, not were like animals. Either are like animals, but I'm very aware." If that wasn't his intention.
I have a
Yes,
question. Do we
I-
think that the offices in UCN are probably based off William's memories, right? Not the vengeful
Absolutely.
spirits?
Absolutely. The vengeful
Everything is
spirits
based
would
off
have
William's
no
memories.
involvement with.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is personalized to him. Everything is customized. to him.
Yeah, 'cause- well, everyone's saying like this means that the vengeful spirit had to be inside the nightmare chambers, and like I don't know, could just be
No,
William
it's like
because he
you have,
built
you have
them.
FNAF 1, you have FNAF 1. FNAF 1 is the loosest, but it's like a mix. It's a mix of everything. The first office is like a mix of a bit of
Yeah.
Sister Location, a bit of FNAF 6, it's a bit of FNAF 2, it's a bit of
Well,
everything. So it's like his
Okay,
general
to be
experience.
fair, if you are Gold Freddy, you've been around since the beginning. You would know all the stuff that's in the game. Like, there's nothing that Cassidy wouldn't be aware of that William would be. The only thing maybe is the Nightmare Chamber. But you could
Yeah.
argue that they would have been around for that, either around Sister Location or around just like what FNAF 4 was. Or from talking to Michael in FNAF 3. Like, there's nothing about UCN that doesn't necessarily say, you know, oh, this could only be made from William's memories.
I'm so bewildered by the security puppet being in the sister location office because it has the faceplate and
Because
everything.
the
But
security puppet is not the one we're playing in the minigame. Both
yeah,
are
yeah, I
security
know.
puppets,
Yeah,
They're
but
different.
the one
But-
that puts it
weird,
in that we
yeah.
buy comes from Afton Robotic.
You know what's funny?
interesting.
It's almost as if it's almost as if there's more than one occurrence where Henry takes something that should have been at Circus Babies and takes it to FNAF 6. Funtime Chica.
I am
Oh,
the
it should have
fearful
been
a-
reflection of the security puppet.
Oh,
that you
Egg Baby. Egg Baby is
Egg
also
Baby. True. Egg
in
Baby is
Sister
also
Location.
there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
that's
so is
also
Candy
an-
Cadet.
So
Isn't
Candy
Candy
Cadet,
Cadet
yeah.
Sister Location as
Why-
well?
The Henry's speech goes on these things though. I don't see Candy Cadet. I think Candy Cadet can be in like any of them.
Candy
I don't
Cadet's
see
in
Candy
all of
Cadet
them,
in
isn't
it.
he?
Yes, but I'm talking about Egg Baby is specifically in the sister
Yeah,
location
okay,
one.
Exclusive.
yeah. But
Okay,
also Egg Baby is the one you
wait,
get
it's
the
literally
the
called
Sister
Egg
Location
Baby,
blueprints
so-
from.
Yeah.
Wait, Egg Baby is
Well,
where you
and-
get the Sister Location blueprints from.
Wait.
Yes,
wait.
yes, but it's also where you get
No.
That's where you got
Henry's
HRY223.
speech. Yeah. So you
Insanity
get
ending.
Henry's speech.
Yeah. Wait, have you realized that Egg Baby is literally just a model of
Egg
Circus
Baby.
with a kid inside her?
I wouldn't
Like,
call that Circus Baby. It looks a
It's
little,
No, just
pale.
pretend.
Little...
it's like a Russian.
It's as
It's
if
like a
nesting doll.
metaphor.
William made. It's as if it's like a Russian nesting doll. It's as if William made a blueprint what that would look like and just hid the files in there. He hid like his William files in there instead.
So
that
there's
we see in
baby,
loading
then there's
screens.
the baby inside of baby, but then there's something inside of the baby inside the baby.
Elizabeth has blueprints. She ate blueprints. when she was
Elizabeth is a
three.
robot. I knew it. Elizabeth kidnapped
Elizabeth
kids.
bought.
Yeah. Also, the weird like disco pizzas were from Circus Babies
Yeah.
too. There's little weird disco.
So that's what I mean.
pizza
Is so
decorations.
we're literally buying everything from everywhere, and I think the security puppet was something that Afton made at some point for Afton Robotics, maybe back when the place opened or after, or who knows. And it just got shipped
Probably was
out
for
in
Pizza
the same way
World.
that Funtime Chica is like running at Chica's Party
he didn't
World.
need it. He didn't need it anymore. So these
Security
are probably
puppet could
from.
just be
yeah.
at another company.
These were probably at Pizza World originally. Then.
Yeah.
Sorry, if the Vengeful Spirit didn't go through FNAF 4, I'd almost say like the FNAF 4 office specifically appearing in Afton's dreams might point to it being like a experiment because it's like, oh, this is something bad you did. You know what I mean? He's like, this is something terrible because of you.
Yeah, I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not
Yeah.
have killed.
Oh, that's
You
true.
know?
Yeah, he literally made the
And it's,
spooky
yeah,
robots.
specifically
Uh,
Nightmare Freddy.
Yeah.
This time, there is more than an illusion to fear.
What does that mean,
You know,
Scott?
I am mimicked, but not by you, by the David you shouldn't have
Yeah.
killed. Oh,
It goes like, what is it? What is it that
Oh.
Nightmare Freddy says? It's like, I assure you, I am very real.
very real.
It's
Yeah,
like
a lot of them
no-
have lines.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them have lines about
sure.
being
which is
I
so
agree.
dumb because Nightmare Fredbear should be the one that didn't really exist. It should just be like
That's
protection
the
or whatever.
point.
Oh,
I
oh,
think
oh.
that's the
I wanted to
point.
share a really cool theory about Impulse F I heard yesterday.
Uh,
So you know how Dittoaphobia has mannequins on wheels that go around as the nightmares?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
staff
dolly
box.
wheels.
He was saying because we have the house on the hill, which used to be Edwin's, right? And underneath that is Proto Freddy's, and Proto Fredbear has those spring-lock stomach teeth. So Impulse Evan's theory was the proto animatronics are the ones that the gas or discs are put on to make the nightmares. Because Proto Fredbear and only Proto Fredbear has that very wide stomach teeth mouth, and that would be the kid's eyes and the gas both playing to see those spring locks in the stomach as teeth. And that was Impulse Evan's theory. I thought it was pretty good.
I'm imagining-
Dittoaphobia, they're described as being gray. They're like gray metal, like conglomerates. You know,
they're not
it's
the
just
same
it's
thing.
literally, yeah. They just
I'm-
wait. That's so good. Impulse 7
Yeah,
is
that's-
located.
yeah,
genius.
Impulse
I'm now
7,
imagining
yeah, Impulse
because
7
it's a
the other day.
spring
Impulse
lock.
7 peak.
There's times when William went in and like manually did it. Like he's the one running around as Fredbear. He's
Yeah,
like,
and that-
"Ooh,
yeah, that
I'm
was-
coming down your hall. Oh no, I'm going down the other
that was
hall.
that was a really cool theory because I remember when GiBi and I on one of our first times talking about the game, I was like, "Don't those stomach teeth kind of look like Nightmare Fredbears?" And GiBi was like, "Yeah, weird." But what if it could be because they are?
That's crazy. Nightmare Chica
Yeah,
is
that's-
actually
yeah.
Bub in
all
disguise.
credit to Impulse 7 for that one.
If Foxy
Okay.
is Monty or something. It could also be that those
Yeah.
are from the breaker room map in sister location. We see that there's 4 animatronics in the plush trap hallway. It's like, what are those? Maybe it's the
Ooh.
proto
Wait, we'd have
animatronics.
leftovers, right? Yeah, we'd have Monty Bub,
Freddy and Bonnie.
Nightmare. Well, there's a Nightmare Freddy. It'd be Monty Bub, Proto Spring Bonnie,
Yeah.
and I'm lost.
But he would
And
presumably be
M2,
fun.
and M2. Ah.
No, there's
See, okay, I like that idea with the teeth, but it's also like, yeah, but so would Bonnie have that?
No, Spring Bonnie, right? Not regular Bonnie. He also thinks Andrew's to the vengeful spirits. Boo, boo, Impulse 7, boo. But I don't know. Impulse, his theories are really. He's been so useful. I've been watching a lot of his stuff lately. GiBi,
Yeah.
this guy's actually cracked. Like
Bro,
he has like he
there's a
came up with the
reason-
help wanted rooms. Yeah.
There's a reason
wanted
that I
rooms.
gave him the #1 shout out in my 9-hour video because he just he had such a prolific amount of content for me to watch. Everyone else
Yeah.
said like, here's a theory video, here's a whatever. He's just like, here's everything you could ever ask for. I'm putting it on. I don't always
Yeah.
come to a good conclusion,
Oh,
but here
yeah.
you go.
And a lot of it is stuff I've never like even considered.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that's interesting. He'll make like lore connections with like fucking Gumdrop Angel.
Yep.
Who's using Gumdrop Angel for?
That's like
It's
him
that's
and I think Cyrus Squawks is a bit like that as well, where you're just kind of like, whoa, I
Squawks
didn't
is a
even
bit-
know that was in consideration.
My
Like,
fright-
that's what
Yeah.
we're going.
My Fright
Squawks,
Fiction's
like,
father.
Squawks uses external
Yeah.
media a lot as like a basis for his
It's
ideas.
illegal.
Like
There's only one
the
franchise.
I'm sure you're familiar with like Molten MCI Ultra-S.
Yes.
We were on the podcast talking about it, and he literally said that he got the name Ultra-S from Digimon. That's
Yeah.
like where he took it from. He and that's like with his God, what is it?
Yeah.
Like Tulpa theory
Oh, that,
is
yeah,
directly
yeah.
drawn from a real like religious belief, right?
Wouldn't know
he-
anything
he
about that.
draws a
Haha.
lot- he draws a lot from that, and I find that very interesting. It's cool to see. I usually disagree with like external media stuff, but it's very cool to see when people can find inspiration for that kind of thing outside from an outside perspective. Except GiBi when using Star Wars, because Star Wars is written in a very, very
Yeah,
different way.
that's
I
illegal.
always
Yeah,
disagree
you're
with
not allowed to use that.
No,
That's
But it's
that's-
not about
that's
it's
off
not about
limits.
how it's written. It's about how it's like
limits.
a piece of fiction.
No, man,
about,
it's
like,
off limits, man.
Its place in culture.
No, Star Wars specific. Like you can use Star Trek, but Star Wars
Yeah.
no.
What?
Star
Use
Wars
Harry
is-
Potter.
Doofus
You can
is
use
Tom
you
Bombadil.
can use Bubble Guppies. You can
Guys,
use
you don't
Cyber
understand.
Chase. You can
Captain
use
Kirk is
Super
the
Y.
spirit.
What are you talking about?
You
Doofus
can
is
use
Tom Bombadil. I'll fight
Caillou.
you.
You can use
No,
SpongeBob.
don't use Caillou. Caillou is off limits. Caillou is off limits as
Okay.
well.
You can
Oh
use
my God.
Phineas
Caillou-
and Ferb.
Yes,
you
I
can
agree.
compare it to SpongeBob. You could find a way of comparing it to
Yeah,
SpongeBob
yeah,
that
yeah,
might
yeah. You could
actually.
use
Tell
Sonic.
Confess a Bear. Second friend Fredbear is just Confess a Bear from SpongeBob.
You could use
Um,
Pokemon.
Sire Squawks convinced me. He was very anti Molten MCI, and so when I was writing my 9-hour script, I was completely anti Molten MCI. He had convinced me it wasn't real, and then one of the last things I did was actually read the Silver Eyes trilogy, and I get to the fourth closet, and I'm like, oh, Molten MCI is actually like the most confirmed thing possible in this entire franchise. They just tell you
Yeah.
point blank what it is. Whoops.
The graphic novel, I think, hurt that interpretation more than anything because the graphic novel, it does not look like the way it's talked about. In the book, it's like written to look like Molten Freddy, basically. But
Yeah, they just mold them all
Not
together.
So what? Yeah, it's like a pale bear or whatever. Yeah.
Absol mentioning Assassin's Creed. Yeah, the animus from Assassin's Creed is basically how all this like memory injecting remnant stuff would work.
yeah,
Great
Also,
comparison.
Secret of the Mimic apparently is very similar to Bioshock, specifically Bioshock 2. I haven't played any of them, but a bunch of people have been talking about like the similarities between the two, not just the lava puzzle, but just in general.
Fredin was talking.
Yeah.
I think it was him who did the whole Portal comparison video. Secret of the Mimic is like Portal video, and it is a great comparison. But I think the conscious decision the developers were making was Bioshock, because everything that he said that was like this is like Portal is either the same in Bioshock or more close to how it is in Bioshock.
GiBi, this is not an iceberg video, and this is not like 1 hour. What the hell?
You said you could only be on for a little while, and I said when you go to bed, the stream will be over, and it won't be 7 hours.
I never. No, it's like I was just saying we'd be done with the iceberg bit, and then we'd move on. But
Pastel saw a Toto in GameStop. Yes, they're always on sale.
That was cool. Is that actually FNAF merch or is it some random thing?
No, it's
real.
Toy Freddy. What do you mean?
Wait, it actually is Toy Freddy. I thought it was. All right, I'm gonna have a confession to make. Ready? This whole time, I thought I thought you made Toto like out of a freaking towel or something. Like I never thought that was actual merch. 'Cause I've never seen one. I thought GiBi made Toto.
No, I got it.
I would genuinely like to have one.
A friend gave me one for Christmas. I could tell the whole story, but one of the earlier incarnations on my channel was I was gonna have like basically the same role that Toto is, but it was gonna be like a sock puppet. And so then when I had Toto, I'm like, oh, this can just be like that role, but it's a Toto from the Freddy game.
That's cool. We're getting GiBi lore.
I'll tell the whole story when you eventually interview me for your live stream.
I was just thinking that. I was like, this is like, shut up. This is an interview question.
The origins of Toto.
Why is he in like a shrine?
Oh no. I might have like 5 Totos for various different stunts I have to do.
God,
this one is
breeding.
this one is just this one's literally in the box. This I just have off to the side.
A what? It's in the what?
The Toto's in the FNAF 4 box.
GiBi, I will accept 1 Toto as payment for making that 1 minute 30-second video that I genuinely could have just done for free. Just send me a Toto. We don't have FNAF merch here.
Oh my god!
Where I
also
live,
Toto.
I'll spend $1 million to ship it off to you.
They said a photo. I was like, a photo of what? What do you
A
mean?
Toto photo. No, I have.
A Toto photo wasn't enough. I want a Toto Realo. A Realo Toto.
Absolx is asking what you're planning on doing to Toto that you need more than.
Oh, so I have one on marionette
It's one of the
strings.
experiments.
If you guys watch some of the videos, sometimes
he's doing the FNAF 4 experiments.
Yeah, sometimes Toto can fly and like float. That's him on marionette strings.
That's a different one.
Yeah, so that's a different one. This one,
It's a stunt double.
plans for him will be apparent in the future.
Yeah.
And then I think this is one of my favorite stories. So obviously you guys have seen the Rick Fafaska puppet, which is a Bonnie that I dyed black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I had to make this giant batch of black dye and like soak it in for like 2 hours or something. And then I was like, well, I have to like dump out the dye. So if I'm ever going to dye something black again, I'll do it right now. And so I threw in a Toto. So I have now just a pitch black Toto, who will be in the next episode. So yeah, it's the Shadow Toto that was introduced in the previous episode. But I remember I was sending pictures of this process to Candy Bunny, and I'm like, so I'm making like my Rick Fafaska, but I also made a Shadow Toto, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And she goes, yeah, just like Scott.
That's great.
It's the agony creature.
T-Dreads then started talking about the charity goals for his then upcoming live stream.
If it's 14,000,
What?
I have to get some FNAF related tattoo.
David's ball with a halo. I could do David's ball with a halo on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And if anyone asks me, I could just say like, "Oh, this is my son." who died
My
in a
son
car."
got hit by a car.
This is my son who got hit by a car.
Where
if
is
anyone in
his
real
ball?
life asks me, he
Running
ran
out on the road?
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, that could be fine. I could do a God David think chat with that.
I'm just saying, I already made the perfect tattoo for you. So
I feel like a God, the word God David on your
No,
wrist.
I wouldn't put
would cause you
God. I
more
wouldn't put God.
problems
No, no,
than-
no, no. I wouldn't put God on. No. I would just put a ball
Well,
with
God
David
and
on it and a
David.
halo and like a halo or something.
You
I don't
should
know.
do
We'll figure it out.
Crying
Or I could
Child's
just get something
Fight.
not too cringe. Like I could get part of Henry's speech. I was thinking about part of Henry's speech. Keep in mind, this would
but
still be a
we
punishment for
fun-
me, chat. I would never do this normally. I would never get a tattoo in my life.
Wait,
Putting
what's the
Henry's
most
monologue on my
hype-
wrist is punishment.
What's the most
Yeah.
hype part of the monologue to put on your wrist?
So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. But that's not a good thing to get tattooed.
Yeah, it's kind of religious.
Anyone,
Like,
yeah.
what's the most-
It's
Yeah.
it's
Connection
the hard, and
terminated.
It's also a bit like, oh yeah, connection
Yeah, but that's
terminated. That's
boring.
perfect.
That's kind of
Connection
boring, though. Let
terminated.
me think.
Okay, yeah.
you are right where you want to be.
Get Andrew.
It's kind of weird for a wrist, though.
Oh, to the monsters locked in the corridors, give up your spirit. For they do not
That's so
belong to
corny.
you.
That's so corny.
That's fire. That is the best.
It's fire.
love
I don't
that
know what you're
line.
talking about.
Small prisons of my making. So Zuck Daddy does say Shadow Toto did the MCI and controls the Pizzaplex. That's not
Okay, bye,
canon. I
Chad. Thanks for
disavow.
having me on, guys.
Bye. So this is the tattoo that he's
Bye.
getting. It's M2 mixed in with Ennard, so he'll have Ennard inside of him, dog. And we have a David star, and there's a little 14 in the corner. I don't know why he doesn't love this idea, but this is the design I made for him.
It's the 14. He can't
No,
do
that
the
is so sick.
It's a tiny little 14.
I would tattoo Green Afton. Not gonna lie.
Bruh.
Oh, just a fedora.
Just wear a fedora.
No,
Maybe, how did you
the
make this?
experience of tattooing a fedora on yourself, that's superior to wearing a fedora.
You asked how I
wouldn't
made
get it.
this?
Yeah.
So you know T-Dread's M2 emote? Like the
Oh,
emoji? So
yeah.
that's what the head is. So I took a PNG of Ennard, erased
Yeah.
the head, put his little emote on it.
Oh, that's his shoulder, isn't it? Or it's his leg. It's his leg.
Yeah, there's an Ennard head here, and I just replaced it with this little emote, and I put 14 in hacked text over here, and then I put a little random star over here.
It looked great. Like it looks all very well blended.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks very. It looks like.
Because I was like, did you
clear.
draw that?
No,
Like,
no,
were you
100%
hiding that
contrast, and, black and white, and...
That's cool.
Good night. Good night. Yeah, it's almost 2 a.m. over here.
Jeez,
It's time
you
to say
guys.
lullaby and good night
Yeah.
already.
Lullaby and good night, with
night.
roses, bed I...
Same old phone,